marry this guy already.
Only when he begs me. I'll probably...
Tyler Watts will start at quarterback again for Alabama, and what does he have to do? Well, it's simple. Execute with confidence.
I got a job to do out there every day, and I got to go out there and perform it the best I can. And if I play scared, I'm just going to make a whole lot of mistakes. So I just have to stay focused and go back to the basics, play by the book, and do my job.
This is a game Alabama needs to win. Mike Dubose knows the fans are upset with him. The players, well, they're upset that they haven't been executing. They had a little behind closed doors meeting last Sunday to try to straighten it all out. Somehow I think Alabama will put it back together. I'm looking at Alabama winning this one by a point, maybe two, 21-20, 21-19. It's going to be a good one. Now, another game in the SEC to watch, and this could have bearings on who gets to Atlanta. South Carolina, who would ever believe this, and Mississippi State. Lou Holtz, well, he knows his team is going into this game heavily outweighed by the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
They're going to outweigh us a little over 30 pounds a man, their defensive line and our offensive line, which doesn't happen. Now, their offensive line will outweigh our defensive line by 40 pounds a man. So we're giving away a huge advantage, but we're also giving away quickness. Not only are they bigger, they're very, very quick.
And the other coach in this contest, Jackie Sherrill, well, he's got his dogs ready, as he usually does.
You know, they had a very, very good defensive team last year. You know, they finished in the top 20. Also, when you look at their offense, they made a decision to get the ball in Derek Watson's hand, and they have done a great job of doing that. He is a tremendous football player, great vision. He has done a lot of things with the football, and I think that certainly they took Petty, the quarterback, put him in an offense that helps him because he can get rid of the ball. And the best, the improvement that I've seen on film, or the change, is Petty getting the ball out of his hands very quick.
So, fans, watch this Mississippi State-South Carolina game. All of a sudden, it's very important, particularly for Mississippi State, if they get a chance to get to Atlanta. I'll pick Mississippi State in this one, in a close one, about 3 or so points, 24-21. That's what it looks like for the SEC this week. Dan?
Thank you, Scott Hunter. There's a game right there, Stephanie, that a lot of Auburn fans would like to see, and they can see it from the comfort of their own home because through Comcast's pay-per-view.
Yes, Auburn, Northern Illinois. It is starts at 4 p.m., and you can call 1-800-885-BURN. Only $34.95.
Burn.
Burn.
You can also take a look at...
No pun intended, I'm sure.
I don't know what... I guess that's the end of all burn. But you can look at ESPN's game plan. If you maybe are from another area of the country, you have a favorite team from Northwestern to Wisconsin to Marshall, North Carolina, LSU, Notre Dame. Look at them. The lineup there is pretty diverse. So you can call Comcast 476-7600. There you go. Sit back, watch the teams, all the teams you want to watch.
That's right. You have Alabama Birmingham playing LSU.
That would be a nice upset for them if they could pull that off.
That would be a very great upset.
Now, Sports Saturday is something that's being done by Comcast, and this is something neat, Stephanie. You can wake up and jump right into football, beginning with Auburn.
That's right. At 8 a.m., you can watch the Auburn Review. At 8:30 a.m., you can watch the Auburn Preview. And at 9 a.m., you can watch the Mike Dubose Show, which is a very interesting show. 9:30 a.m., you can watch the Crimson Tide This Week. 10 a.m., you have Sports City Weekly replay, and at 11 a.m., Comcast Game of the Week replay. So if you don't get a chance, if you're playing the game and you want to come back and, you know, watch yourself and see what kind of mistakes, a lot of coaches, I'm sure, could use this.
Absolutely.
You get up on Saturday and watch the game.
And preview maybe some of these, Shaw and St. Paul's have got some opponents coming down the road, so they can take a look at the game and watch it and enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow night with the live game at Ladd Stadium, Shaw's and St. Paul's.
Good night.
Good night.
People's Stadium, week number 4 here on Comcast, and hopefully it's going to be just as exciting as the previous weeks we have had here tonight, and it should be another exciting matchup. St. Paul's tonight coming to Land People's Stadium. First time they have ever played here to go up against a Shaw Screaming Eagles team that is 0-3. St. Paul's is 2-1, but that 0-3 record, I think, very deceiving right now.
It's deceiving when you consider the fact that, they've played quite a schedule. In fact, their schedule that they played so far would have been a tough 6A schedule. They've already played Bryant. They've already played Theodore, two of the best teams in 6A on the coast and maybe anywhere. And they've already, they had to play on the road against Foley. So Marty McDowell waiting on that first win, but the early part of that schedule, he concedes maybe a little tougher for a very young team.
Now let's talk about the St. Paul's team a little bit. They could put some points up on the board, averaging 30 points in each of their first 3 games, and I think they confuse the other team a lot. That wing team, that causes a lot of problems.
It causes a lot of problems. It's one of those offenses that you just don't see that much, so when you're trying to defend it, it's tough to simulate it in practice. You certainly have nobody on the scout team that can run it the way they do. In fact, you've got a
Good team is speed here. The white team going to defend the end zone with their back. That way.
Shaw's going to come in and get the ball first, so we'll see St. Paul's defense first.
Yeah, you talked about Shaw getting the ball first. We were talking with Coach Marty McDowell downstairs. Not feeling real well tonight, a little bit under the weather, but you were saying he wants something good to happen. He said, if we can get the ball first, maybe march down, get a drive, that'll kind of get it turned around.
Marty is waiting. He's got a young team. He's got only 5 seniors that play a lot for him right now. So he lost a lot of people from the team that was pretty good last year. And he says the team has got some skill, they've got some size, but they haven't really come together. But he says it's tough to judge this team just yet because the schedule's been so tough early in the year playing the big teams. Tonight, he said it'll be a better chance. I asked Marty about St. Paul's, and he said, Dan, I'll be honest with you, I'm more worried about my guys.
And, of course, St. Paul's, this is the first time they're playing a 5A city school,
that's right,
if you will, with the big jump up. And those players, they know about it, especially their leaders. They've been through the whole change in classes. Well, it's another high school football game tonight here on Comcast. We're glad you're with us. It's going to be a great one, hopefully. And, again, St. Paul's making their first ever visit to Ladd, and we'll kick it off right after this on Comcast.
That was a pretty good movie tonight, huh?
Yeah, it was funny.
You know what part I like most?
What?
Hey, kids, that wraps up our Mega Music.
This wine's really good, huh?
Yeah. No commercials, no interruptions, 40 digital music channels. Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
My husband and I don't always want to watch the same channel.
So he watches downstairs, and then I'll go upstairs. We were giving these satellite dishes another look.
You can only get it on one TV. You can't have all the feeds going to another TV.
If the kids wanted to watch something, and my husband and I wanted to watch something else, we couldn't do that.
Now, they say they can do that for you also, but it costs like hundreds of dollars more just so I can hook it up to another TV.
So, with this one hookup,
I've got to sit and watch what he's watching. Oh, come on.
Satellite TV isn't all it's dished up to be.
Just about ready to get this one underway tonight here from Ladd. St. Paul's in the white and Shaw in the blue, and Shaw will drop back to receive. Kendrick Wallace and Robert Harris will go back to receive, and Wells Griffith will kick off for St. Paul's. Beautiful night for football
It
here.
really is.
No wind at all.
There's a tropical system somewhere, but it's not here, not tonight. It's been a nice day, actually.
Pooch kicked end over end. Fair catch called for right at the 2 and caught there and held on to by Lee Smith. And we'll be calling his name a few times this evening. And so Shaw will come out on offense to get this one started. Again, Shaw 0-3 on offense, only averaging 15 points a contest. So Coach Marty McDowell talking about trying to get that going a little bit better here tonight. Now, St. Paul's on defense. They have been very solid, allowing just 15 points a game in their first 3 contests. So it's going to be a good matchup tonight.
It is going to be a physical matchup you want to take a good look at here, because it would appear that Shaw's got the bigger people up front, though St. Paul's is not a real small, and they're a good weight room bunch. They may not look that big, but they're pretty strong.
Marcus Mark, the left-handed quarterback, 6'2", 195-pound junior, who will be in there to start things off. Demetrius Barnes in the backfield, and we'll get a flag as a delay of game. Too much time to start this one off. I don't think that's what Coach McDowell was looking for in the first play from scrimmage.
You know, I know it's not, and it's got to be pretty disappointing for him. He had to switch some people at quarterback with an injury to Mark at one time. I believe it was Mark, the guy that got hurt.
Yep.
And actually Johnson, who came in for him in relief, threw for some yards.
Yeah, 217 yards against Foley. Robert Harris will split out wide to the right. Carl Dees also there next to him. And 1st and 15 on the first play from scrimmage. Mark under center. Gives that one off. Ashton Milton will bowl ahead. He'll get out to about the 28-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 9.
Blake Martin made the tackle.
Well, we're going to talk about him tonight.
I guess going for the all-time St. Paul's tackle record. Kids been playing linebacker. They've got a number of players that have been in key positions for 2-3 years on the St. Paul's team.
Blake, who has now made 39 tackles after that one. And Mark with the handoff, this time given back up across the 35 and pulled down at about the 44-yard line. And again, it's Ashton Milton. Correct, I make that Roberto Richardson, the sophomore, who's able to pick that one up for a 1st down. And Shaw seems to have righted themselves a little bit after that delay of game. And again, changing around a lot of players in the backfield tonight, which Coach McDowell talked about.
He talked about going with who's ever hot. When you look at St. Paul's on offense, they are you can put it in an ink. You know who's who and who's going to be where. Not the same for Shaw. Marty's trying to learn about some of these kids.
Richardson and Barnes in the backfield again to start this one out. 1st and 10. Mark will hand this one off, and again picking this one up to the near side is Barnes, and trying to spin free, pulled down after a short gain. Coming over to make the stop, Jared Nelson. We'll talk about him a lot tonight. Michael Norwood also in on the tackle.
Good tackle in the open field by Forwood. Boy, that thing was going to go a long way down the sideline. Marty McDowell also talked about establishing the run. He was hoping he could do that with a number of backs, who's ever hot especially, and maybe that could open up a big play with the pass. We'll look for that.
2nd down and 7. High backfield again. Marcus Mark looking to pass. Now he's feeling some pressure. Rolls back. Getting chased by Mark Vaughn. Puts it across midfield. Big block thrown out there by Robert Harris. And he and Lee Smith come together. What a huge block by Harris, who came around, making Jeffrey Noble, who took the big hit, but Robert Harris was the one who came and laid him out from that linebacker position.
Jeffrey jumped up like he liked the experience, but there's no way that he did. I can tell you that right now. That was a heck of a block. We might be able to see it here. Mark turns the corner right here. Boom. He got a look at it. Good player, number 17. We'll be probably talking about his name on some pass receptions. Robert Harris.
John Shaw came over to make the tackle. He'll bring down a 3rd and short here on the first drive, just underway. And Coach McDowell gets ready to send the play. And again, we might see as many as 6 backs rotating in that backfield tonight. Everything from juniors to freshmen rolling around back in there. And I think Coach Dole is going to take a timeout here in this big 3rd and 2 to open this up on the first drive for the Eagles. Indeed, he will talk about it as Marcus Smart comes over, and that'll give us a chance to go to a break as well. We're early on here tonight at Ladd Peebles High School football live on Comcast, as we do every Friday night. We'll come back for the 3rd down play after this.
Welcome, friends, to Los Rancheros.
You've been with us for lunch. Now join us for dinner. At Los Rancheros, we have different nightly specials for you to enjoy. Celebrate with us as you try our famous fajitas and margaritas. Our fun atmosphere gets even better on Saturdays as our authentic mariachi band plays for you from 6 to 10 p.m. Then we'll see you on Sunday when your church bulletin gets you 15% off. Don't forget, you can call ahead and pick it up on your way home. Visit us at Los Rancheros Mexican Restaurant. We're open 7 days a week. Adios.
3rd down and 2 here for the Shaw Eagles. Split the backfield and Mark again under center. Going on the long count. Sides to give it off in the handoff. Coming right across to the near side, Roberto Richardson, and he'll pull up for the 1st down. Brought down at about the 41.
I think right now the Shaw offensive line is winning the battle up front. we talked about the weight advantage. Marty McDowell has poo-pooed that and said, you know, weight doesn't matter much when you're not getting the job done.
That guy is going to be on the field all night. Jared Nelson plays strong safety also in the backfield for St. Paul's, and he has that. He's just very determined, much like the fullback.
Much like the fullback and just a football player. In fact, averaging 16 yards a carry on offense? That's not bad.
Great speed as well. And again, Mark will look things over. 1st and 10, just under 9 minutes to go. Handoff comes down the near side, and Demetrius Barnes will cut it back across the line of scrimmage, pick up a couple, and then he'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Obviously, if they're going to be running the football, what St. Paul's wants to do is get Shaw in more of a passing situation. I think that they feel like they might be able to defend Marcus Smart, the quarterback, but he's got some receivers. If he ever starts to click with them, he's got a couple of guys, including 6'4", 6'5". They're about Walter
Sherrills.
Walter Sherrills is a big-time player. Harris on the other side, solid football players, so they can make things happen in the air if they ever get it clicking.
Harris wide to the right. Lee Smith wide to the bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 8, and Mack rolls it back left-handed, zings it to the near side, and that one broken up and incomplete. Trying to hit the tight end, Daniel Harbaugh on that one. Harbaugh couldn't hold on to it, deflected away. Casey Sherman coming over on the coverage.
Right there. Hard to believe. First game ever for St. Paul's in Ladd Pupil Stadium. It's not like they didn't know where it was. It's the biggest thing in town. But they've been, playing the 3A for years and finally 4A. Never had the opportunity to play anybody here.
Single backfield now. 3rd down and 8. Mark put a pair of receivers up right and left. Mark tried to zip down across the middle. He's got to complete to Sherrills. Sherrills down to the 27, lunges forward. He'll have the 1st down to keep the drive alive. And again, there's Casey Sherman coming over to make the tackle.
Boy, nice job there by Mark, and I'll tell you why. St. Paul's on the 3rd down coming with the blitz. You see it right there. They're bringing some people off the corner. And Mark knew right where he was going, and it's hard to miss that guy. Sherrills is a 6'5" receiver we were talking about, and Marty McDowell is big on him.
3rd down conversion on the drive. Mark gives it right off inside the middle, and Richardson will pull down inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Randall Frost comes over to make the tackle. So it looks like they're happy to try and just pound it up the middle for a bit here and just try and get it. Talking to Coach Guth from St. Paul before the game, he said, I don't know if they're going to spread the field. I don't know if they're going to run it straight at me. He said, I don't know what they're going to try and do tonight.
He's seen them do it both, and it might depend on who they're playing. If they're playing a big team like Bryan or Theodore, they may have to spread it out a little bit if they want any success.
Chris Fletcher comes into the game, and handoff will come right back to Richardson, and he'll bring it right up to the 10-yard line. Richardson kind of the workhorse here. He's a big fella, 5'10", 210-pound sophomore.
Watch it again, and again, notice the fact that he gets through the line of scrimmage without getting hit. Nelson is making a lot of tackles. When one of your top rushers is involved in that much contact, that can't help you on offense.
1st down and 10, spotted at the 11, so Shaw can get a 1st down without scoring here. And Mark inside handoff. There's going to be a flag in the backfield. Rolling in for the touchdown is Richardson, but I think that one's coming back.
Oh, it's coming way back.
Yeah, there was movement beforehand.
Okay, movement, and I was thinking it might have been a hold, but that movement will cost him 5.
Look, if we'll look on the replay, look at 22, Chris Fletcher. He is lined up on the right side. And just before that, he gave just a little rock there.
And he also was involved in a block that helped make that thing happen.
On the snap. Right. On the touch. Right.
So it'll bring up a 1st and 15, spot the ball at the 16. As Carl Dees goes over the sideline to get the play, and he'll bring it in and relay it on to Marcus Smart, the junior quarterback. Good size, 6'2", $195 on the scales. And that left-handed quarterback always throwing defenses for a bit of a loop.
Always do.
Unless you're Cade McNown playing for the Bears, then you're not fooling anybody. As Mark under center, little draw play, trying to hand this one back off to Barnes. Barnes spins it to the 15, spins again down to the 14, and he's pulled down on the play as he took a couple of jumps there at the line of scrimmage and then was pulled down on the play.
One that Barnes makes the most out of nothing here. Breaks the tackle in the back, but also watch him juke Nelson right there, which is not easy to do. He got hit about 6 or 7 times.
Also went around big Mark Vaughn there, 265 pounds at 5'7".
4 sacks already on the year for Ball. So he's been a real pleasant surprise as a sophomore for St. Paul's.
Second down and 13. Mark rolling out to his left, feeling some traffic, trying to get chased, unloads that one, and we'll see if they'll say he was down or if they're just going to let him get away. The flag is there, and that's going to be intentional grounding. As, again, Jared Nelson there in on the pressure, and also in Wade Stoudemire.
Let's see if there's not anybody out there, because there were some receivers in the area.
Kind of underhands it away.
He does, and if you look closest to alignment, but there's a receiver there, so I don't know exactly what the rule book says in high school, but he doesn't get the benefit of the call there.
And again, look at number 10, Jared Nelson, and 57, Stoudemire.
Yep.
All kinds of pressure, and Mark just had nowhere to go on that one.
Nelson.
Of course, now that's a lineman there. That wasn't even a receiver.
That was a lineman, yeah. I think that's probably why the call came. But, of course, when you're getting hit, you got an excuse. That's why I didn't throw it as far.
Intentional grounding. Loss is down. It'll be third down.
So it'll bring up now third down and 36. They have to get to the 1-yard line for a first down.
It's like a real estate listing here. You've got a team that was down at the 11, took it all the way down to the 11.
And then a penalty, and then another penalty, and that's where they're at. D's in motion. He goes across the middle. Mark trying to swing it back underneath, almost intercepted, and not going to be held on to. It was deflected just away there at the last second. Jeffrey Nobles, who's had his nose dirty throughout this drive.
He's been around, hasn't he? Watch again. They've got one thing in mind, and it's right there. It's a screen across the middle, but St. Paul's was simply right there. Ooh. They were right there with Lancaster, with Nobles. They weren't fooled at all, and I guess what Marty'd like to do now with the failed drive is try to kick them back, get field position.
And Robert Harris will drop back. To punt. So from 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line to punting from your own 50. Harris will angle that one toward the corner, and great punt as it bounces at the 5, and it's going to be down at the 2-yard line as Daniel Harborough comes down to down that one, and this will pin St. Paul's down deep. Great kick by Harris.
That's about, if there's anything to make Marty feel better, because he's actually feeling a little sick. He had a little flu come on here late in the day. That might do it for Marty McDowell. Now let's see what his defense can do. St. Paul's, what they're going to try to do offensively. The thing is, kind of come and stop us, and it's not easy.
Bo Fleming, the fullback, the wingback, Jared Nelson, the guy you got to watch, and he'll go in motion, and he'll take the pitch around the left side. Gets it across the 5, some room out across the 10, now to the 15, to the 20, and he's pulled down to the 22-yard line, but a flag back at the 4-yard line is probably going to bring this one all the way back.
And that's the thing that's really amazing about Nelson. We just watched the kid play an entire series defensively, and does it look like he's winded? I don't think so.
There's the hold right there.
That's the hold. It wasn't going to affect the play. Nelson is really fast. Who's going to have the corner one way or the other?
Nick Hinton had a handful of jersey.
Well, that's an unfortunate call for Guth, because it's not like
6-8. Holding on the white team. First down, 13.
Nelson was going one way or the other.
So half the distance, and it'll also move it to the far hash. Michael Forwood split out wide to the right. Brent Johnson, the senior quarterback. He's been around. He, Fleming, and Nelson, the 3 seniors that really make this offense go. And Nelson goes in motion in the inside handoff to Fleming. Fleming, the fullback, will push that one out across the 5, out to the 6. Bo Fleming averaging 7.6 yards a carry, and that's on 50 carries. It's not like he's just broken a couple long ones to help that. 50 carries, 383 yards, 7.5 a carry.
Eddie Guth could not say enough good about Bo Fleming, and Bo Fleming has been a winner for this team since he was a freshman. Started as a freshman.
Ray Bedgood there on the tackle, and the handoff comes to Nelson. Nelson again cuts it up the middle and across the 10 out to about the 11 before he's tripped up. Quick, shifty feet. But he's also one of those guys, he doesn't dangle around a lot in the backfield. He gets it going north and south.
Yeah, he figures out where he's going. When you have speed like that, any crease, you probably feel like, I can beat it. I can get there.
Andre Wright coming over to help on the tackle there. As you could look at Bailey Savage, a big guard for St. Paul's. It's 3rd and short. Brent Johnson will come under center. And again, Nelson in motion, and the handoff comes up the middle. It's Fleming. He's got the first down across the 15 out to about the 16-yard line. Gang tackle there. And, you know, Coach Guth talking about Bo Fleming said determination as much as athletic ability.
He's, you know, he just loves the kid and says it's all about his determination. They're very determined in the weight room, by the way, too. Those, that backfield, every one of them bench pressed is 300 pounds. Now, they may not look like the biggest lifeguards at the pool, but I tell you what.
How about it? Termaine shoots 5'4", 150 pounds, sophomore starting there in the backfield. Rolling out Johnson. Has a bit of time, zings this one ahead. He's got Fleming across the 20 to about the 23 before he's knocked out of bounds on the play. Wilbert Carson over there on the coverage, I believe.
I think it might be Lee Smith that makes the final tackle right here, and it is Smith coming up. Carson trailing. Carson is a guy that gets a lot of tackles for Shaw too. This is really going to be an interesting game. I'm loving this matchup, and Shaw was able to do a lot of things offensively, and obviously St. Paul's offense tough to stop.
Second down and 3. Hand off to Fleming, and he'll push it right to the 25, and it'll bring up a 3rd and short. Down at the bottom of the pile again, Ray Bedgood, his 3rd tackle on the drive.
Here comes some determination for it. Boy, good hit, but look at the legs keep on going.
Bedgood just trying to rip that ball out of the hands there.
Good luck against Bo Fleming.
So 3rd and 2. Both teams primarily keeping it on the ground here in this opening quarter. Land Peoples Stadium. And the handoff comes to Nelson out across the 30 to about the 33 before he's tripped up on the play. And again, Ray Bedgood there to pull him down.
Nelson's an excellent football player. You can see that. You made a good point about him really picking where he wants to go and going there. He's not afraid of the contact. If he thinks it's time to cut it inside, he will. Trying to get the first down right there. He realizes maybe I can go wide. Maybe I can beat this guy, but let's get the first down. Bang, right there. There he is. Boy, he's got good speed. He's got a burst. He really can go.
6 foot, 187 pounds, so he's not a bruising back by any stretch of the imagination.
He was about that size when I saw him start as a freshman for Mary Montgomery 4 years ago. He just was a big, fast kid since he's been a kid.
Good enough for the first down, and he'll take the handoff again. Gets stopped after a gain of a couple. Mike Vaughn, you saw him go in motion there, number 1. And, he's a guy who can get the ball, and Coach Guth was saying, it just depends on if the hole's there as to whether or not Brent Johnson's going to give him the football. You see him going in motion there to the right?
There's a pretty good hold. We're getting word now, calls to the studio, that St. Paul's has indeed played at Ladd before.
Wow, so we got some bad information before the game.
Yeah, we can only, we're only as good as the information we get.
Fleming stopped there on the handoff as tried to take it straight up the middle and coming over, put pressure on.
But thanks for the calls, and that means that, you're enjoying live high school football, and that's what it's all about. And this is just
Jamarcus Gill on the stop there. Remember, that was Dan who said that they'd never played here before.
Yeah,
too.
I said it after, of course, Jim told me it was so. But Scott Hunter's up here now.
Third down and 7.
Trouble on the field again.
Minute and a half to go here in the opening quarter, and Johnson will look things around. Martin split out. Johnson rolls out, looking to come across the middle, decides to try and keep it himself. Nothing doing as Curtis Moore wraps him up and hauls him down at the 30. Also, Andre Wright there. Had Shaw with some pressure with the tackles up front from the junior and senior Wright and Moore.
I'm not exactly sure who he was looking for, Scott, but he couldn't find him. Not in time anyway. Bang, right there.
And I was expecting this to be an offensive fireworks game with probably 2 touchdowns. Both teams probably scoring 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. When you expect that, nothing happens.
Every time we've expected something, we've just about gotten the opposite.
So now, punt coming up here as Bo Fleming will drop back to punt. Kendrick Wallace there will pick this one up at about the 37. Wallace dances across the 40 out to the 45 and the 46 in a flag.
The flag was right there. Right, I mean, not just a clip, but at the end of the clip, he rolled up on the official's shoe. So it was pretty obvious. I don't think it was a big, hard hit, but you just can't hit somebody when you see their back.
Jeffrey Noble's down there and have an injured St. Paul player down. I think it's Michael Forwood who is down.
I think it is.
So the St. Paul's medical staff will come out to take a look.
Might see what happened here. This Comcast replay might give you an idea of why Forward's down. Top right, look for him there, and see when he shows up in the picture. I think
his knee just got a little twisted, maybe.
I think somebody just kind of rolled up on him a little bit.
So we hope he's all right as Michael Forwood. He'll play some time a wide receiver on offense and also see him in the secondary. Looks like he's going to be okay and putting some weight on there himself. So the clip will back Shaw up. So each team forced a punt on their first possession, and Shaw really moved the ball well all the way down to the 11, but then 2 penalties, and 20 yards later, they were forced to punt.
They were able to pound the ball, and that was the McDowell. You know, any coach would like to do that. Be able to run it right at somebody. They did that their first time around. Let's see how it goes this time.
Richardson will line up at the fullback position. Mark looking to pass, zings it to the near side. He's got Shields. Shields tried to put a little dance on across the 25 toward the 30. Spins, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 33-yard line.
That's a tall dancer. 6'5", wide out that Marty McDowell says has got a real good chance of playing Saturday afternoons for somebody. Watch it here. Just one-on-one. Here, you try to stop me. Is that Nobles out there with him?
He went right around Nobles, and he's finally hauled down on the play by Will Lancaster, the middle linebacker, who went across field to make that tackle, and a gain of 9, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 1, what may be the last play of the opening period here. Handoff right up the middle, and tripping as he came across the line was Chris Fletcher. Fletcher able to pick up the first down at about the just shy of the 35, so that'll move the chains. That'll also bring the first quarter to a conclusion. Well, each team kind of going through a little bit of a feeling out process. Now they hurry. They actually may be able to get that play off. They had to stop it while they adjusted the chains quickly, and actually they will pop. Nope, not going to get this one off. So that will close out the opening quarter. And you can see Marcus Mark not real happy there that he wasn't able to get that last play off. Thought he had a bit of a rhythm building up. Well, we have played 12 minutes here. First period of what, again, has been another exciting high school football game. Shaw drove it deep, couldn't score. They got the ball back.
This is the latest news that we have, and it is not good news for those residents along the Gulf Coast, particularly Alabama. This hurricane has intensified dramatically over the...
Natural gas. It keeps on going no matter what nature dishes out. Don't you wish everything was powered by natural gas? Clean-burning natural gas. Still Mobile's best energy value. From Mobile Gas and Energy South Company.
You've waited all year, and now it's here, Bayfest 2000. The streets of downtown Mobile will be alive with the sounds of over 100 national and local acts on 7 stages. It's happening October 6th, 7th, and 8th. Every kind of music under the sun. And just $25 gets you an advance weekend pass. 3 days of music for just $25. Plus a family area, gospel stage, and more. Get your advance weekend pass for just $25 now at AmSouth, Godfather's, Food World, Bruno's, or through Ticketmaster for Bayfest 2000.
Ready to start quarter number 2. Scoreless here between St. Paul's and Shaw. And Shaw will take over here after picking up the first down. And again, Marcus Mack in the backfield, coming in motion, Carl Dees. And Mack wants to zing it out, looking to get it to the near side. And Harris put a knee down as he caught that one.
And guys, glad to join you up here. Finally from the sidelines, getting up here. Shaw 71 yards in the first quarter. St. Paul's 30 yards, but the most important statistic, no points.
0-0.
Either side.
St. Paul's, I take that back, Scott. Shaw moved it well first time they had it.
You got to put it in the end zone, though.
Mm-hmm. Got down to the 11, and then they stalled with some penalties.
2nd down and 11 after the catch by Harris that actually lost a yard with his knee being down. And pair receivers to the bottom of your screen. Mark looking to the near sidelines, fired it back to Harris at the 40, made the catch, stepped around the first tackler, and then is pulled down at the 41. Coming over to put some more pressure on was Nick Hinton.
That's a throw that you make if you've got a strong arm, because it was defended pretty well, but he zips it in there. Wow.
I'm impressed with his arm. He can really fire it.
Hinton seeing some time on Defense also playing both ways. Starts at that guard position for Coach Guth. So third down. Second about 4 coming up here.
And how you like this spread offense here? 4 receivers, 2 to each side.
That's what Coach McDowell talked about. And Mark rolls out, lofts this one up in the air, and that out of reach as he was trying to get it to Lee Smith. Up at the top of your screen and incomplete.
You know, we talked about it too, was Coach Eddie Guth of St. Paul's. And watch him again, they are split out. He nearly gets it out there for the first down, but Nobles again with some pressure. It seems like every time, Scott, that they've got a third down situation where they've got to throw it, St. Paul's is not letting them sit in the pocket. They're bringing people.
Yeah, he's really getting outside of the pocket, maybe a little bit too quickly. Maybe he should sit in the pocket, take advantage of his protection, and try to throw it from inside the pocket.
So dropping back to receive will be John Shaw. End over end kick. Shaw made a little half-hearted attempt to fair catch that one, but he'll let it bounce, and it'll go all the way down to the 11-yard line, where it'll be touched up there by Carl Sanders. And again, Scott, seeing it much like the last couple weeks, field position is going to be the name of tonight's game.
John, you took words out of my mouth. Field position is everything in high school football. If you can't get good field position, it's difficult to operate offensively, and that's the problem with both teams. 71 yards and 30 yards in the first half. Both teams not hardly breaking 100 yards in field position is the detriment there.
St. Paul starts out first time at about their own 3, and this time we're somewhere around the 11-yard line.
Spotted right at the 11, and the handoff comes back to Nelson, trying to get the corner turn, pushed out of bounds at the 18. Now we'll get him all the way out to the 20. Pretty generous spot there right below us. Henry George coming over to make the stop for the Screaming Eagles.
Been kind of generous to let the keep the flag in the pocket, too. Pretty late hit.
Takes that wing T toss there a long time to get out there, fellas, doesn't it? That's a lot of running for 2 yards.
It's a good thing that kid likes to run, because those plays ask him to run.
Second down and 1 after the 9-yard pickup by Nelson. And the handoff given to Mike Vaughn. We talked about him. Boy, you know, that misdirection doesn't just fool the defense. All 3 of us up here trying to figure out who had the ball there, and Vaughn winds up with it. The senior, his first carry of the night.
Well, if the quarterback is a good ball handler, which he is, then it's hard to see who has the ball. If we can't find him up here in the booth, you know what problems the secondary and the linebackers are having.
Johnson has been the quarterback, too, Scott, for, I guess, 2 or 3 years now for St. Paul's. They've got a lot of veterans that have run this offense efficiently a long time.
Johnson will roll out to his right, wants to keep it across the 40, now across the 45 toward midfield, and all the way down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line before he's ridden out of bounds by Larry Petway.
Might have a flag on top of it, too. And it may have been a face mask.
Well, Johnson just tucked it under his arm. He's carried it 20 times this year. That was number 21, and that was drawn up that way, Scott. He was doing that the whole time, huh?
That's a roll, and he's not looking to throw at all. He's just trying to get out there and get a couple of blocks, get a crack, and he does. And then, of course, 15 yards tacked on here to the end with a face mask.
I don't know who applied the better face mask. Johnson on the straight arm. He wasn't surrendering, that's for sure.
Just going to be a 5-yard face mask penalty.
Face mask penalty, 5 yards on the blue team. Inbound.
He had a hold for a while there.
Well, that certainly corrected the field position problem, didn't it?
One play.
Well, first down and 10. Again, put it at the 37. Brent Johnson, drop back to pass. Looking across the middle, and he's got it complete down to the 20, inside the 25, and that's Blake Martin all the way down to the 11-yard line. We talked about him on defense.
Hang on a second.
No, that's not correction.
Brent Johnson this time really impressed me because he waited until the receiver got out from behind the linebackers to deliver the ball. It took a little extra second to do that. That shows a lot of poise and confidence.
Travis Jackson with his second catch of the season. And that'll set up another first down. Put it at the 13. Handoff up to the near side. Touchdown as Jared Nelson takes that one in, as he has done now for the 6th time this season. A 13-yard scamper. And Nelson, who he hardly ever comes off the field.
No, I'm amazed at the shape this kid's in. Scotty made half the tackles on Shaw's first drive as a defensive back.
Well, check this out, the wing T reverse here. He's coming in motion from the wing back spot. And obviously the Shaw defense was well fooled. Nobody was out there to contain him, and he broke through right into the end zone.
Larry Pittman didn't have much of a chance there. And Wells Griffith on here for the point after, 7 of 11 on the year. And that one never got off the ground, so make it 7 of 12. And we have our first score tonight. St. Paul's on top by a score of 6-0 with a 13-yard touchdown run by Jared Nelson. And they'll boot it off to Shaw after this.
It's easy to see why more and more Mobilians are switching to natural gas. Nothing is more reliable than a natural gas appliance. Nothing is more comfortable on those really cold mornings than natural gas heat. And when it comes to savings, natural gas is comfortable in the pocketbook. Don't you wish everything was powered by natural gas? Clean-burning natural gas. Still Mobile's best energy value. From Mobile Gas, an Energy South company.
Well, St. Paul's out to the lead by a score of 6-0. Scott, we were talking about Jared Nelson there. You know, not only shifting everything else, but we talked about it earlier. So key, he knows to turn it upfield. He gets those shoulders square, and he heads up the football field.
When you get your shoulders square, you're going to break tackles. Let's look at him here again, this wing T reverse here. Now he comes out, immediately makes a nice pivot and turn, shoulders square. He's able to break through tackles there. Without those shoulders square, he's going to be tackled. But with shoulders square, he's a force.
You know, even at the goal line, Petaway wasn't no part of him.
No, he was going up high.
Yeah, he was. But Nelson runs hard and fast.
Griffith kicks that one end over end. Kederick Wallace will take it at about the 18. Wallace cuts it across the 20, runs into his own man, trying to pull this one up across the 25 before he's brought down on the play. Jeffrey Nobles again there on the tackle, as we've called his number plenty of times thus far.
St. Paul's a well-conditioned football team. You can tell they spent a lot of time in the weight room in the offseason. Now, can it continue for 4 quarters? That's the question.
Now we'll see Chris Fletcher come out, and he will replace back in the backfield. We'll see the shotgun for the first time tonight. Marcus Smart. Now,
a lot of confusion.
They're not sure what
for Shaw. A lot of confusion.
Barnes and Richardson really weren't sure what was going to take place, and so Shaw decides they will take a timeout.
They use a lot of backs, and you know that it may be a situation where nobody's getting enough reps to know where they need to be.
9 minutes to go in the first half. It's St. Paul's on top by a score, up 6-0 over Shaw. It's high school football live tonight here on Comcast.
Welcome to a cool new world where you won't just sit there, you'll go places. Now, one digital connection from Comcast brings you a brand new way to watch your television. And the fastest way around the World Wide Web. So don't just turn it on, stir things up. What a cool new world. Comcast.
After the timeout, again, we'll see the shotgun formation here. Marcus Smart. And now the shift as Richardson comes up to the wing. Mark on the keeper, tried to zip this one back across. He got it to Barnes. That was actually a lateral, I believe. And not much developed out of that gain of about 3.
Scott, I don't know if that was a lateral or not, but it was a nice catch because
there was a lot of heat on that.
A lot of heat.
What it was very dangerous.
Yes.
If that had been fumbled, that ball would have been live for anybody to recover. Careful.
Demetrius Barnes picks up a couple. Barnes, 6'1", 170-pound senior. So second down and 8. And again, we'll see the shotgun here. Receivers 2 to the bottom of the screen. And Mark dropping back, looking to set up a screen. Falls down, just heaves it up and looking for Harris, who dives and can't get there. Good pressure being put on by Hinton as that ball was up in the air. Looked like they were trying to set a screen up, Scott.
Slow developing screen here. Looked like St. Paul's had smelled it out very well. He was lucky to get rid of the ball and not take a big loss.
And he was also lucky throwing a little balloon up there that it didn't land in St. Paul's hands. It's surprising to me that they turned to the pass so much after running the ball so well on the first drive and just overpowering. Now they're going wide. Obviously on a 3rd down and long you need to.
So 3rd and 8, that's what they'll do. but they won't go to the shotgun. Back under center. Mark fires it. He's got Harris complete at the 35, and see where the spot is. He's going to be close. I think maybe just a little shy.
All about the spot here, guys. I think they're a little bit short, and I think they are.
So now,
looks like a third down play out of the Alabama playbook. You got 3rd and 9, and you run a 7-yard completion.
Hoping that Shaw could make the move, Scott, to make it a 9-yard completion.
If you're going to take time to throw it, and you got 8 yards to go or 9 yards to go, you better run it at 10 or 11 yards.
Go for 10, yeah.
Get a measure here. So if they are a little short, you roll the dice a la Tommy Tuberville right now and go for this one, Scott?
Not being behind 7-0 or 6-0, guys. I think I'd punt this one, and I wouldn't want to let St. Paul's get another touchdown out of field position.
St. Paul's, as we said, their defense has been very solid, allowing just 15 points a game. And you know what? Special teams has been a big part for them, too. They've already blocked a punt and 2 extra points in their first 3 games.
Eddie Guth was talking about special teams. Let's see where the spot is now and how close they are. It's probably a yard away, it looks like. So, now I don't know what it is now because they're kicking it around. But Eddie, you know, he takes special teams very seriously. St. Paul's is a well-coached team, and most well-coached teams, Scott, play well on the special teams, don't they?
Well, Dan, I think you just hit a point. The good high school football coaches really emphasize special teams because they know in high school that so many mistakes are made in special teams. If you can limit your mistakes, you got a chance to win a lot of football games.
How about the special teams mistakes we've seen in 4 weeks? And they're going to go for it here.
He is going to go for it. So 4th and 1, and it's a solid yard. It's not a It's not a short spot.
It's not an inches situation. Marty McDowell strolling the sidelines, and he needs this first down in a big way.
And now maybe some more confusion as now Mack will head it up. Barnes in the backfield, paired back there with Richardson. Mack will give it to Richardson, and he's stopped. He is stopped short of the first down. Richardson took the handoff and never had much of a chance. St. Paul's defense rises to the occasion as they snuff that one out from the get-go.
See it right here.
And who's there? It's Jeffrey Nobles.
Yeah, he's filling the gap again. And I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage, let alone make the yardage for the first down. Great
Good call by the St. Paul defense.
Absolutely.
Defensive coordinator putting a little blitz on there.
Big Mark Vaughn, as we said, 265 at 5'7", just a sophomore. And now the field position game that we've talked about so many times. St. Paul here on the bootleg, rolling out on the right. Johnson fires that one across, and it's through the hands and incomplete down at the 20 as he was looking to get that one off down to Tunstall Ing. He's got a couple of catches on the year. First time they've looked for the tight end, Scott.
Tunstall Inge here, wide open. The ball a little bit behind him here. Wasn't able to get his feet around and his shoulders around and get his hands in position to catch the football. You think it was a drop, but really that's one of those things where the quarterback should have led him a little bit, particularly when you were running to your right.
He was open, though, and Johnson is a threat either way, to throw it or to run it. We've seen him run it for big yards.
So 2nd down and 10, spotted to the left hash mark. Johnson will do just that, roll out on the right side, keeps this one across the 30, now inside the 25, and puts the head down, and he's going to be close, going to pick up the first down. Now, just as Dan says it, Brent Johnson, the very athletic, what a great athlete he is.
Yeah, he's athletic, he's strong, he's fast, he's got a lot of attributes here, Scott, huh?
Same play they were on the other drive, the drive that got them the touchdown, and he also got the face mask penalty. Same play, he's just coming out to his right, breaking containment, picking up a block or two, and finding a crack and making some key yardage.
1st and 10 at the 23. Handoff right up the middle end.
That's Fleming. Now
Fleming didn't get much on that one.
Yeah,
that's going to hurt the 7.6-yard average.
I was going to say, he came in averaging 7 yards, but he's not been getting 7 yards tonight. St. Paul's been pretty tough on the fullback dive. It's been Nelson, really, with some of those inside reverses.
Well, and the speed. Yeah, getting it outside a little more. They haven't had a lot going straight up the middle, Scott.
Also, this for Bo Fleming, he's probably 1% body fat. He looks like he's in great condition, watching him warm up earlier.
So 3rd down and 9, and the handoff comes to Vaughn, the tailback, and he's across the 15 down to about the 14.
Now we come up with the 3rd, so they've got a shot here.
Mike Vaughn, who averaging 4.5 yards a carry. So 3rd and short. St. Paul's trying to work on the lead. They've already built up 6-0 on a 13-yard touchdown run by Jared Nelson. And it looks like they're going to get the first down here as Brent Johnson under center gets Shaw to jump, it appeared. Didn't see much movement on the St. Paul line there, Scott.
No, he's sneaky, bobbing his head slightly and got the Shaw nose guard to break the plane.
So it'll be a first down and first and goal situation now coming up for the St. Paul Saints.
Enforcement on the blue team. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Call that the old Bob Greasy Bob. Bobbing that head and drawing the defense offside.
The Bob.
Which was why he was named Bob, too.
Yeah, he did it at a young age.
First and goal, handoff up the middle. This time it's Fleming breaking across the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. Coming over to make the stop, Charles Rhodes, his first tackle of the night, coming up in the safety position. And Fleming will make it back to the huddle.
Just straight off tackle. Bo Fleming finding a crack there, spinning to break a tackle or near break a tackle, almost scored.
Strong legs, strong upper body. Everything he's got is solid, as Scott said.
Second down in goal. Handoff again. This time plunging over from the far side is Fleming for the score, and St. Paul's, with 2 touchdowns here in the first half, has jumped out on top by a score of 12-0.
Nothing fancy, huh, Scott?
Here it is, just straight off tackle lead play. Bo Fleming finding a little bit of a crack there. Fine blocking by the offensive line. Radcliffe Brown, Nick Hinton. Nice hole, 6 points.
You know, he's dropping the shoulder there on Curtis Martin, Curtis Moore, who's 260 pounds. Now they'll go for 2. Holding on to this one, Johnson the pitch. Fleming dives for the pylon, and he's got it for the 2-point conversion. That was very close, and Johnson held it as long as he could, pitched it to Fleming. And the 2-point conversion now has St. Paul's on top by a score of 4-0. Fleming gets the touchdown and adds 2 on top of it. 14-0, the Saints on top. It's high school football live on Comcast.
Welcome, friends, to Los Rancheros.
You've been with us for lunch. Now join us for dinner. At Los Rancheros, we have different nightly specials for you to enjoy. Celebrate with us as you try our famous fajitas and margaritas. Our fun atmosphere gets even better on Saturdays as our authentic mariachi band plays for you from 6 to 10 p.m. Then we'll see you on Sunday when your church bulletin gets you 15% off. Don't forget, you can call ahead and pick it up on your way home. Visit us at Los Rancheros Mexican Restaurant. We're open 7 days a week. Adios.
It was close there on that 2-point conversion for Fleming. Scott, we're still trying to figure out if he got in.
I am too. The official was not really in a good position to see it, not because he was out of position, but he had to get out of the way or else get hit. Let's take a look at it. Did he break it? I don't think so.
I thought that left foot was out of bounds before he got there.
Official, of course, had to get out of the way to keep him getting his knee torn off, so tough call.
Let's take another look at it. This may
be
a little bit better.
All right. There he is. Well, maybe that.
You know, we're looking at the foot going out of bounds, but not watching the ball to see if it's broken the plane yet.
But the official's looking at his foot. So
the ball may have broken the plane. So.
Anybody's guess.
Okay. We'll give it to him then, guys. Guess goes with the offense, right?
Well, you would think so.
Wells Griffith again to kick off, and now we get a little confusion to start that one. And
that's an offside. You can't just kind of pat everybody on the head and say, let's try it again.
They're really cracking down on that in the NFL this year. If you watched any of the games, they're really cracking down on that. But this one was just half we're going, okay.
Come on, son, kick it.
Yeah, right. I don't know if he heard a whistle and thought things were had been called for a moment.
Like one of those Charlie Brown plays. Lucy pulled the ball away.
Someone look for the little brunette girl. She had something to do with that.
Harris and Wallace back deep to receive for Shaw as they find themselves down by 2 scores.
Shaw now in need of a big play, Scott. They could use it on his special teams. They could use it on one big pass or run.
And now Griffith will kick this one
out of bounds. Yeah.
So he tallies up some penalty yards, and I'm looking to see. You wonder, the offense has not really moved very well here for Shaw. Then that first drive, they've kind of stalled. And you're wondering, Desmond Johnson, the sophomore, do you see him coming in?
They changed philosophies a little bit too. The first time they had it, they really established the run, and they did. And for whatever reason, they've kind of spread it out since then. Scott, any thought on why they've abandoned what worked?
Well, you always want to stay with what's working for you, and maybe Marty's gotten away from that a little bit. Let's see if he gets back to it.
He was hoping to get the run going where they might be able to pop some passes, but St. Paul's, as Scott pointed out, looks like they're not fooled by anything. The defensive backfield's been in position to stop any passing.
Marcus Mark will stay in there, quarterback, and again out of the shotgun. They struggled when they went to this formation last time, and Mark looking to drop back, heaves this one off the back leg, looking down the sidelines for Sherrills, and that one's knocked down and out of play. That one had some hang time behind it, but you talked about the strength of his arm, Scott. He heaved that one off his back foot.
Right, he's got a strong arm, but the problem with a lot of high school passers are when they're throwing the ball downfield on the sideline, they tend to throw the ball across the receiver and out of bounds. If we look at the replay on this, and you'll see Searles, he'll break free of the cornerback, and he's ready for 6 points. If the ball is delivered up the field instead of across the field. You see his throw there across the field, crossing him over, and the ball's out of bounds, and, of course, even a catch there counts for nothing.
So 2nd down and 10, and again, the shotgun formation causing problems for Shaw. Looking to the near side, fires this one high and up over the head of the intended receiver, Robert Harris. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation.
You know, consequently, too, by not clicking on the passing game, they're stopping the clock, and they're also kicking it right back to an offense that they're having trouble stopping.
And Mark this time looking, delivering the ball, but just really too high, uncatchable.
Murray Sharp out there on the coverage. So a 3rd down and 10, and now in the typical passing down, now you see him go back to the single back formation here, and Mark will duck under center. Marcus Mark across the middle, throws that one high, and nowhere within the reach of Carl Dees, so that'll bring up a 4th down. Is out on the coverage there, Blake Martin. We talked about him earlier and all the tackles he's had.
He had his guy here, Scott. Sometimes the overthrow, when it's over the middle like this, have to do with the fact you've got big linemen in your way?
No, really, he just overthrew.
He had a lane, didn't he?
He's not setting his feet very well and getting himself in position to throw the football and consequently overthrowing.
So a quick 3 and out on 3 straight incompletions.
Really something that Shaw could not afford to do the way that St. Paul's has been able to move the ball lately on most of the game, actually.
Harris will kick this one. Shaw back to receive.
Nice punt
For St. Paul, and Shaw watch this one bounce at the 22, and he decides he's going to take it with some speed across the 20, 25, stepped around a tackler, now still on his feet at the 30 before he's upended at the 33 as coming over to put the hit on Wilbert Carson. Starting linebacker for Shaw, came downfield to make the stop. And St. Paul's will take back over as Shaw, that ball comes in the air, Scott. He's able to actually build a little speed as he grabs onto it.
Certainly was. This is out of the old Billy Cannon playbook way many years ago when against Ole Miss, he let the ball bounce and Ole Miss
over pursued a little bit.
Relaxed a little bit. He picked it up on the bounce and went something like 80 yards for a touchdown to beat Ole Miss. Well, there he is. John Shaw doing the same thing. One tackle there, breaking one tackle. He might have scored.
Yeah, he had the sideline just about to himself.
Mike Vaughn takes the handoff, and he's ridden down by Andre Wright. Vaughn with the carry, got short gain. Pick up, we'll give him a long 3, maybe 4. We'll call it 2nd and 6. Kendrick Wallace coming over to make the tackle. He's a big play guy. He's a guy Coach McDowell was telling us about.
Yeah, he was calling him Mr. Everything. He talks about Wallace playing linebacker some form, also cornerback when they've got a receiver that they can't handle, so Marty likes him a lot.
Brent Johnson under center, looking to the right side, steps around some pressure, now bounces around another tackle, trying to get away from Carson. Carson finally there to bring him down, and that'll be a loss on the play and bring up 3rd down.
Even a loss, even being sacked, you've got to be impressed with Brent Johnson. He's
very poised.
He's very poised. He's looking downfield. He wants to make it happen. He's got no choice here but to get going. And look how he evades some tacklers, almost makes something out of it. But Shaw's just got too many numbers there on him.
Stepped around Andre Wright. Finally, Carson was there able to haul him down. And 3rd down and 9 as Scott Hunter will head down to the sidelines to keep us posted what's going on down there. Grab the coaches as we get closer to halftime. Little bootleg again. Johnson across the middle. Fires that one. He just one hopped it, trying to get it to the tight end, Ing. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Just kind of short hop that one as he looked to get it back across the middle.
Obviously something that no team wants to be in is a 3rd and long. But when you get St. Paul's in a 3rd and long, you've got them in an unusual situation. They've got you know, obviously running backs, tailbacks, wingbacks that generally gain a lot of yards on the ground. So they're not used to being 38, 39.
Bo Fleming to punt. Angles that one toward the right sidelines, and it'll bounce to the 40, and then Hinton will watch it roll down to about the 32 before it's gobbled up there. And finally touched up by St. Paul's, and now Shaw will get it back with pretty decent field position.
Been better if the safety was able to come up and make the fair catch, but actually the ball was punted too short for him to get to it, or at least in his estimation.
And that was Wallace we were talking about, who like to see something happen. Coach Guth doesn't look real happy right now.
Eddie Guth has had some wonderful success at St. Paul's with a team full of kids who just play very hard and work very hard in the weight room and in conditioning. Well-coached team.
First and 10 at the 32. Mark tried the inside handoff, and Roberto Richardson had absolutely nowhere to go on that one as Will Lancaster came up to make the tackle.
Well, they've gone back to the playbook that I was asking for. It doesn't help them here anyway. They sit up tight. Might have had two tight ends in there.
Nobles.
And look at Nobles again, shooting the gap, and there he is.
Lancaster came over to finish off, but a great surge there by the defensive line of St. Paul's, and Shaw looking a little deflated there on their sideline.
Got to spread them out again. They've got two wide to each side and only one behind Mark.
Second down 11. Lone setback is Chris Fletcher. And Mark trying to come across the middle. He's got that one complete as he's able to fire to Kevin Pittman. And Pittman out across the 45 to the 47, and that'll be good for a first down.
Marty would really, well, you know, obviously, this is speaking the obvious, but he did say to me ahead of time that hoping that the run was going to be able to allow them to pop something, to make something big, not put the pressure on them to have to go, move the chains up and down the field, but to get some big plays. That's what they're looking for on the pass.
And again, they'll spread the field, pair receivers to the top and bottom. And Mark with some pressure wrapped up and thrown down on the play.
Nobles.
Right in the middle again is Nobles, and also there Mark Vaughn to help out. And Marcus Mark had nowhere to go on that one.
He had no chance. That was like the old jailbreak. He looks up. He's looking for receivers. He can't even. It's over. There's Nobles right there.
Nobles had a couple of sacks in the first 3 weeks and adds to that tally there, a 7-yard loss. And so second down and 17 with a minute and a half to go.
What Nobles doesn't have in size, he's only 176 and only a sophomore. He obviously has an aggressiveness and speed.
Mark zips that one to the far side. It's complete as Walter Scherrell's there, able to make the catch. It's back up close to the original line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up a third down here and long with a minute to go in the period. Scherrell's made the catch and just didn't have much room to go after that. And guess who's out on the coverage? Noble. Fire to the near side. This one complete, going to be good for the first down. Carl D is able to make the reception inside of Saints territory. And Blake Martin there to ride him out of bounds after the catch, and that'll stop the clock as well. Good strong throw there by Mark.
And a big throw, a big play. You're now down to less than a minute to go in the half. They'd love to get something here going in. Obviously, time running out. It's been all St. Paul since the very first drive that Shaw had, and even in that drive, they never came away with any points.
Pretty good open field tackle there by Blake Martin. As we get ready, and again, out of the shotgun is Mark. Deep drop here. Heaves this one up, kind of overthrew his intended receiver, and that one's picked off. In the backfield is Jared Nelson with the interception. Nelson across the 40, now toward midfield, using those wingback-like moves he uses on offense to get it all the way back up to the 45-yard line on the pickoff. And Nelson saw that one the whole way. It was thrown over Scherrell's, and Nelson able to go back there and grab it.
You know what Mark's thinking? You got a receiver that's 6'5". Let's throw it up there. Well, you can. That's not a bad thought, but this one is even too tall for Scherrell's. Oh, way over his head. There's Nelson.
That was almost like receiving a punt. That one was up there a ways.
Once you got the corner here, my thought was if people were kind of falling asleep on the play, Shaw a little bit, but they did not. They pursued and were able to slow him down and make him cut back.
St. Paul's will take a timeout. They want to make sure they're set. And now Shaw, their defense is really going to have to buckle down here for the last 41 seconds because St. Paul's already on top by 2 and with the ball here late in the first half.
They're a team that primarily likes to throw it, but with run it. But with Johnson, they can throw it. Here again is the interception by Nelson, who's done a whole lot tonight, hasn't he?
Well, he is out there all the time. So 1st and 10, put it at the 46 for the Saints, who have the lead of 14-0. And now we'll see the shotgun from St. Paul for the first time tonight. Johnson steps up in the pocket, and he's hit just as he tried to deliver that one. Jamarcus Gill coming in there with the pressure. Gill will help Johnson up.
He's a tough kid, Johnson is. He's a strong kid, and you could see. I mean, you know, he's primarily looking to throw there, and that's what he's going to do. He stuck it in the pocket. He stayed in the pocket, wasn't able to make the play. But
Lionel Phillips was just waiting for that one to come to him.
He was.
2nd and 10. And the handoff goes to Bo Fleming across the 35. And it surprised me to see St. Paul's here. They didn't get it going. They may just...
You know, I don't think that was a concession. I really don't. Fleming has been known to pop those, and I don't think that was a gimme. I don't think they're laying down on it at all. I think they were hoping that Shaw would be looking for the pass and be over-aggressive.
Shaw defensively not ready for the snap there, and Johnson fires that one up and over the head as he was looking for Blake Martin. Now it'll bring up a fourth down with 8 seconds to go. So 4th down here for Brent Johnson and St. Paul's. Boy, really impressed with Johnson. You know, whether it's on the keeper, the way he's throwing the ball, the way he runs. You know, that wing T, I mean, that's a quarterback. He has to make so many different reads on every play, and we'll talk to Scott about more in the second half.
Got to be a good ball handler. Oh, almost like a point guard in basketball. He's got to be able to handle the ball, and he does it very well.
So Fleming will punt this one toward the right sidelines, and actually just off the bottom row of the seats. And so there's 1 second left, and it'll give Shaw a chance for the Hail Mary here to close out the first half. A little too much on that one. Now that looked like one of your drives. you talked last week about the punt. That one was much more.
That's it's a sad situation. Go golfing. You're going to golf with me. You know, just we'll put away about a good 8 hours, and bring a lot of spare Titleist for Danny Boy. I'm going to knock it around the yard. I don't know what Shaw can do here. Mark's got a pretty good arm, but 60-plus yards is a long way to go.
And Jared Nelson will drop way back. He's the ball right now on the 34. Nelson back inside his 25. Trip receivers to the bottom of the screen. And ball is loose as it's knocked out of Mark's hand as pressure right away coming straight up the middle to Eric Sweeter to knock that one away. And St. Paul's has the lead by a score of 14-0. Here over Shaw. Down on the sidelines,
Let's go,
it's Scott Hunter.
But Coach Marty McDowell, I know you struggled in the first half, but still only down 2 scores.
Yeah, but we got to play better. We got to execute. Can't make mistakes. That's what we're doing.
Any change of plans possibly in the second half? Maybe a change of quarterback? Anything you're contemplating?
Not right now. Just going to go with what we got and see what we can do.
You know you've got the talent. It's just a case of being out-executed in the first half, it looks like.
Yes, it is, and we got to fix that this hand.
All right, Marty. All right, Coach Marty McDowell. He'll go into the halftime and see what he can pull out. Now, let's see if he'll start that other young quarterback maybe in the second half.
Well, maybe we will see Desmond Johnson. And, we've talked about Coach McDowell, who gave us Dan and I a lot of time before the game and just was not feeling well. You can see sweating down there. It's a nice, cool night. And I don't think the 14-0 deficit's making him feel.
Gave us time before the game. He might have given us the flu, too. We'll find out tomorrow. I was sitting real close.
St. Paul's has the lead. We'll come back for halftime after this from Lad Peoples Stadium live on Comcast.
My husband and I don't always want to watch the same channel.
So he watches downstairs, and then I'll go upstairs. We were giving these satellite dishes another look.
You can only get it on one TV. You can't have all the feeds going to another TV.
If the kids wanted to watch something, and my husband and I wanted to watch something else, we couldn't do that.
Now, they say they can do that for you also, but it costs like hundreds of dollars more just so I can hook it up to another TV.
So with this one hookup, I've got to sit and watch what he's watching.
Oh, come on.
Satellite TV isn't all it's dished up to be.
They're not getting me.
My name's Raj. I design software.
You must be a model.
We were wondering if the two of you would possibly...
The interactive program guide. Find what you want when you want it. Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
Comcast Cable is conducting a house-to-house audit to identify unauthorized services. If you're receiving unauthorized cable services, call 470-6935 to become a paying customer or to have services disconnected. You must call before September 30th, 2000 to avoid possible legal penalties. Comcast, in conjunction with law authorities, reserve the right to pursue anyone with an unauthorized connection who does not take advantage of the amnesty period. Call 470-6935.
Region game here tonight at Ladd Peoples Stadium, and been an exciting first half. St. Paul's right now leading by a score of 14-0 over the Shaw Screaming Eagles. And we talked about it in the pregame show, Dan. We said running the ball, the misdirection. That's what we've seen from Shaw trying to defend from St. Paul's, and it's been Fleming and Nelson, and they're the ones who've got it done.
Nelson and Fleming, and certainly the quarterback, too, who's a fine player. And these guys, L.V. Johnson, who, by the way, is the cousin of Shaw coach Marty McDowell. And Marty says, you know what, I don't appreciate this.
You know, he may want to go see his cousin and try and share some of those flu-like symptoms that he's got right now to slow him down, because you said Brent Johnson has been unbelievable tonight. The decision-making, he has been able to make the reads, and when he's had to, you know, he's got that athletic ability, tuck the ball under his arm, and take off downfield and pick up those big first downs.
These are guys that have played in the same backfield in an offense that a lot of people don't see very often now. The wing T, Johnson at quarterback, Nelson at wingback, and Fleming at fullback. Several of them have played for 4 years together. Nelson has played for the last 2.5 years, so they know exactly what they're doing. They've got some talent, and for Shaw to defend it, that's no easy matter.
Well, we know how much time the players put in every week, but the band puts in just as much. And let's head down to the field now as the Shaw Band is out on the field here tonight at Ladd Peoples.
at 6:30 p.m. for Sports City Weekly, an in-depth look at area sports with your host Dan Brennan and Stephanie Varga. Each week we'll discuss what's happened in local sports and what's to come. Don't miss Sports City Weekly every Thursday evening at 6:30. Brought to you in part by Comcast at Home, the fastest way to connect to the internet in Mobile. You've got to see it to believe it. Sports City Weekly, exclusively on Comcast.
Another exciting night of high school football tonight here on Comcast. St. Paul's with the lead over Shaw, 14-0 here through the first half. And, Dan, you take a look at that game, and not a lot of surprises so far. I think both teams, we kind of got the feeling we knew what they were going to do. Coach Guth, certainly prepared us. He was more concerned what Shaw was going to do offensively, whether they're going to try and run it down their throat, spread the field. We've seen both, but St. Paul's defense, they've been able to stop them on all fronts except for that first drive.
First drive, Shaw really stopped themselves. They were able to drive away down the field, primarily using the run. And it looked like, hey, they've got something here. They can solve the St. Paul defense by simply running at them. For whatever reason, after some penalties got them out of that initial drive with no points, as it turned out, they started moving more toward the pass. And I don't think it's really worked for them. We're going to take a look at some stats here for the first half, and you'll see that obviously the top one, there's St. Paul's on top. Rushing yardage, St. Paul's 120. A lot of that, I'm sure, Jared Nilsson. And Shaw, 43, a little bit misleading because early in the game, Shaw just ran it at will.
And here's what's funny about that, 120 yards, so they're on pace for 240. Coming into tonight's game, St. Paul averaging 319 yards a game on the ground and 388 yards of total offense a game.
It's the way they prefer to do it, although the quarterback Johnson's got good skills throwing the ball. He's a good ball handler. You never know where he's got it. They're a tough team to defend. Again, I think a key to this really is the fact that Shaw is younger. Shaw is more inexperienced, if not younger, and they've got people in places that were not key people last year. Whereas St. Paul's, they've got guys that have been running this offense and in the middle of this thing, and to their credit, they've been varsity standouts for 2, 3, in some cases 4 years. So when the lights go on, they're ready to play. It's Friday night. It's nothing new to them. You can see the confusion with Shaw. So they've had to call several timeouts offensively, just not in sync at all, as St. Paul's is machine-like.
Continuing on that thought with Shaw, not only are they young and maybe inexperienced, but Coach McDowell made a good point when we were talking before the game. He said, we need to learn how to win.
Yes.
So, and really, you kind of forget about that, but you have to learn what it's like to win and to prepare yourself for the victory.
Yeah, not an easy team to learn how to win against, and they're finding it out. A lot of speculation, a lot of consideration of St. Paul's moving up to 5A. Could they handle the bigger rosters, the physical teams at 5A? So far, the answer is certainly yes. They're holding up just fine. How long can a Jared Nilsson go both ways? Not just in this game, but all the way through the season. This guy's playing a great game defense. He's probably been the most outstanding player offense. And how long can that happen? Deep into the 5 playoffs? You wonder about that.
Well,
but we'll find out. But as far as tonight, can they match up and play a team like Shaw? Surely they can. They're up by 14.
Yeah, Coach McDowell, he's getting them ready. Don't forget, we still got 2 quarters of football left, and this one's a long way from being over. We talked about Jared Nelson. We'll see some of his highlights coming up here in just a second. We'll take a timeout. It's high school football live tonight on Comcast. St. Paul's tonight taking on Shaw, and we'll look at some of those highlights from the first half. We'll do it after this here on Comcast.
When you want the best in local sports coverage, you know to turn to Comcast. Beginning this Thursday, our local sports coverage even gets better. Tune in to Sports City 6 at 6:30 p.m. for Sports City Weekly, an in-depth look at area sports with your host Dan Brennan and Stephanie Varga. Each week, we'll discuss what's happened in local sports and what's to come. Don't miss Sports City Weekly every Thursday evening at 6:30. Brought to you in part by Comcast at Home, the fastest way to connect to the internet in Mobile. You've got to see it to believe it. Sports City Weekly, exclusively on Comcast.
So what's on your horizon today? Now you can always know what the day will bring, because now Comcast Digital Cable brings you Weather Scan Local by the Weather Channel, a whole new way to get reports on your local weather, updated every 2.5 minutes. So you'll always know where you can go, what you can do, how you should pack. Weather Scan Local, just one of 33 all-new channels, and you can get them all only with Comcast Digital Cable. Call now to order.
Mom, what date did you and Dad get married?
November 23rd,
What year?
1986.
When's Grandma's birthday?
You'll never get the passcode, Eric.
Passcode protected parental control. Kids hate it, moms love it. Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
As you can see, a couple minutes before we get it kicked off here in the second half, St. Paul's right now a 14-0 lead over Shaw. And Shaw really came out. They got the opening possession, marched it all the way down the field, and we talked about actually punched it in the end zone, but that's where the wheels started to fall off.
And if I remember this right, the clip or the hold or whatever, what have you, I don't think was really a key.
Wasn't it a, I think it was a movement.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a movement. You're right about that. It was a movement, moved him back 5 yards initially. So it looks like they're going to strike first right here. But they've got to, yeah, that's Roberto Richardson with the run, and right away. And those are the holes they were opening up, by the way, that whole first drive. They were doing what they wanted to do.
But Chris Fletcher was moving, and then this set up the penalty that really took them way out of position. As Mark rolling back and all kinds of pressure and just nothing to do. And a good shot there. No receivers around. At first we thought it was, but there was nobody around. That was James Prowell.
Now, what do you do when you've got bad field position? You give it to a tough, fast guy. Well, there he is. His name is Jared Nelson. We've been watching him all night, not just on offense either, but making a ton of tackles on defense.
Brent Johnson, who's able to do so many things, coming out of the backfield. Bo Fleming able to just find him, and again, moving the ball in different ways for St. Paul's tonight.
Yeah, when you have a Brent Johnson, you can do that too. The kid is really talented and really sure of himself. He's sure he's going to get hurt right here, though, because he becomes a man-witch. You've got Andre Wright, Curtis Moore, and down goes Johnson on that one.
Johnson, he'll get his revenge, though, and we talked about this. He's got so many weapons. He can throw it, but right here, he knows he's going to run that football.
He tucks it away right there. He makes a lot of smart decisions. He's got great athletic ability, too. Strong kid, too. He's nearly 190 pounds, okay? This St. Paul's group, these kids are nothing but muscle.
And this was the second touchdown as, again, they give it to Bo Fleming, and that is his 5th score of the year. And right up the middle, and again, you know, when he gets that ball, and then here was the one we were kind of questioning on the two-point conversion.
If you watch the feet, you know why we're questioning it, but watch the ball.
That's still close.
Very close.
All right, and Scott Hunter was wondering about that too, but he's back down on the sidelines now. Scott?
Coach Eddie Guth, you're up by 2 scores on Marty McDowell's Shaw team. What'd you tell your team at half?
Told them we just had to keep on working. Anything can happen. Shaw's a great football team with explosive potential, and defensively we got to rise to the occasion, play great defense, and offense we got to be able to execute.
Now, your kids have never been in Layette Stadium before. What was the feeling of intimidation about these surroundings?
They were excited to play here. I mean, this is a memorial place for all the people here in Mobile, so it's a great honor for my kids to have an opportunity to play here.
This thing might come down to conditioning.
Yes, sir, it might. I hope so.
And, of course, your team's well-conditioned. I guess you would.
I don't know what else to do for them because they sure have worked hard.
All right, Eddie. Congratulations. Good luck for the second half. Okay, let's get the second half underway. St. Paul's up 14-0. Let's see if Marty McDowell's put some plans together to bring Shaw back.
Well, Coach McDowell, you know, he's working in there, as is Coach Guth. And we talked about it the past couple of weeks, but a lot of respect on those sidelines there.
You know, and the unknown, too. These teams haven't played each other. They've read about each other in the newspaper, but now that Shaw, of course, at 5A and St. Paul's moving up to 5A, they're going to have to, you know, begin to play each other every year. And I think Shaw has got to be very impressed with their first look at St. Paul's. That kid right there in particular. There's a lot of guys to point out for St. Paul's, though. He's just one of them, but he's solid.
And I know Coach Guth is a little, Coach McDowell, a little concerned. As we said, averaging only 15 points per game coming in. Scored 6 points the first week. Scored 26 in the overtime matchup that they lost to Foley. And then they scored 14 points last week. So they know they're going to have to get more than that tonight.
He was really disappointed with the loss to Foley. If any game really got under Marty's skin, I think it was that one. He felt like they should have won the game. So they come in here, like you say, but that's quite a burden, trying to figure out a young team how to win. And this is not the prescribed way to get behind 14 to a very veteran team.
And also, how about that? Bryant trailing Theodore 26-9 right now. We'll keep you updated on that one, that's for sure, as Roger Gibbons will kick off for the first time tonight for Shaw, and that one comes all the way back to Shaw, and he's able to take it down inside the 10, spins it to 35, trying to get around the 40 before he's wrestled down on the play. Coming over to make the tackle, Cleveland McFarland, and that's where St. Paul's will take over.
Make no mistake, St. Paul's has got some football players. They are well coached, and they've got guys that can make it happen. They work very hard, but, you know, despite all of that, and that's great to work hard, but they have talent, and they certainly have got a scheme on offense. There's Shaw running against the name of school after him, and he decides not to go there. That's not fair.
And we get a ball loose out on the field. So just underway in the second half. High school football tonight, live on Comcast. Brent Johnson under center. In motion was Nelson, and the inside handoff comes to Fleming, and he'll push that one across the 45 to about the 46-yard line before he's pulled down on the play. Kendrick Wallace there to make the stop.
We might start to see Fleming now. It wouldn't surprise me. Jim, we start to see him begin to pop some things. As Shaw maybe gets, amazingly, they might become a little more tired.
That's a great tackle by Wallace.
Excellent tackle, because Fleming not an easy guy to bring down, but we might start to see Fleming run loose a little bit more here in the second half. Would not shock me at all.
Pickup of 9, and Johnson will roll out, going to his right, pushes it across midfield down toward the 40 before he's wrestled down on the play. First one to get to him, Raymond Cheney. Cheney coming from his end position, able to make the tackle. He's got some size, 6'2", 250 pounds, just a junior. Johnson able to pick up the first down. St. Paul's moving the ball here to start quarter number 3. Nelson in motion, takes the pitch back at the 45, has some room, trying to turn the corner, and he will at the 35 to the 30, breaks it down inside the 25, and he's pulled down inside the 20. Good work there, as again, turning upfield and quickly getting down inside the 20 before Jamarcus Gill is able to haul him down.
Again, he doesn't actually go all the way to the corner. He cuts it back up. He finds a lane, and he goes. And when he goes because he's a kid that can really fly. Boy, St. Paul's really answered the bell here in the second half. 3 plays, and they've gone, I guess, somewhere around 50 yards or so.
First and 10, put it right at the 20. Handoff comes to Fleming, and he stood up right at the line as Andre Wright there to make the stop. Curtis Moore also in there at 89 and 99. There's about 510 pounds between those two.
They haven't been easy to move out of there. In fact, that's been the one area where St. Paul's has not had a whole lot of luck.
See Scott still on the sidelines.
You almost got me there. Good thing I am up here. I think I stole the Eagles.
Second down and 10.
Scott Hunter in the Witness Protection Program as the Screaming Eagle.
Johnson on the roll out to the right side, holds it himself to the 15, down toward the 10, and he's tripped up there, and that's going to be good for another first down for St. Paul's.
That's the play that Shaw has not stopped all night long. They just don't get any contain on Brent Johnson when he rolls to his right. No contain at all. He finds a crack as he did in the first half on 2 such occasions, gaining again valuable yardage.
Actually, he's going to be just short of the first down as Ray Bedgood ends up coming over to make the tackle here.
This is a team with guys that like to go north and south, isn't it, Scott?
They certainly do. I'm impressed with the way they go. Good point, Dan.
So 3rd and short in the quarterback sneak, and now Johnson will pick up the first down, and that'll set up a 1st and goal, and St. Paul's has just marched it straight down the field to start quarter number 3. You know, Coach Eddie Guth was telling me a story before the game. He said a few years back that one of the seniors, when St. Paul's was changing the classes, wrote T.R. Miller up in the dressing rooms. And, you know, that's a goal, because those are the size schools you're going to have to be playing. And now, you know, St. Paul's.
Yeah, they were moving up. Now they've already had to contend with them. They were down at 3A, had to start playing the Millers up at 4A, and they just keep on moving up. But you know what, Scott? It doesn't look like they're intimidated or going to have a, you know, it looks like they're making the transition pretty smoothly.
Yeah, the 5A transition looks pretty good to me tonight.
Yeah.
They're not intimidated by the surroundings coming in here to Ladd Stadium at all. Really a level-headed group.
Johnson will pull that one to the 3, and he'll bring up 2nd down and goal. Again, Bedgood in there on the tackle, and 2nd and goal here for the Saints. Nelson in motion. Fleming will take the handoff right side, bowls his way right down toward the goal line. He is going to be right on the goal line. The tip of the ball is right there as Andre Wright.
Watch this. Watch him move right. Bang. I mean, wow. They could have given him that one. Right? Or is that more? It's more at 300 pounds.
Well,
he just kicked that door in, huh?
Yeah, he got his shoulders up under him, and you can move a 300-pound guy if you get your shoulders up under him.
Third down and goal. Johnson with a handoff, and this time it's Fleming able to go in, and Bo Fleming has his second score of the night, and a 3-touchdown lead now for St. Paul's, and they come out and burn about 4+ minutes off the clock.
That straight lead play we've seen before on St. Paul's other touchdowns, and Bo just drove it in there.
He had no resistance, Scott, even until he was across the goal line. So good blocking, too.
Griffith for the point after, and this one is going to be up and good, and now it's a 21-point advantage for St. Paul's as they come out and march it right down on Shaw. And the Saints have the lead over the Screaming Eagles, 21-0. We're early on in the third. It's Comcast High School Football Live.
Welcome, friend, to Los Rancheros.
You've been with us for lunch. Now join us for dinner. At Los Rancheros, we have different nightly specials for you to enjoy. Celebrate with us as you try our famous fajitas and margaritas. Our fun atmosphere gets even better on Saturdays as our authentic mariachi band plays for you from 6 to 10 p.m. Then we'll see you on Sunday when your church bulletin gets you 15% off. Don't forget, you can call ahead and pick it up on your way home. Visit us at Los Rancheros Mexican Restaurant. We're open 7 days a week. Adios.
A 3-touchdown lead now for St. Paul's. Scott, this going to surprise some people if it stays this way when they read the score tomorrow?
I certainly think so, because St. Paul's, I mean, coming into this game, you'd think that they'd be a little bit intimidated by the surroundings, Shaw, 5A, et cetera, but they're just handling it very easily. Now, question I had coming up from the field at the start of the second half was, would Desmond Johnson get into the football game? I stopped and asked him if he was ready to play. He told me, I certainly am. I want to play. So let's see if Marty gets around to this young sophomore hotshot.
Griffith again puts this one high in the air. This will be called for a fair catch, and that'll be grabbed by Lee Smith. Not the big former reliever that we saw for so many years in the major leagues.
No, I hope he moves faster than that, Lee Smith. Took him 21 minutes and 18 seconds to get in from the pen. But Lee, take the golf cart, man. Let's move the game along.
When he started throwing those aspirin pills up there,
that's right.
The game moved along, though, didn't it?
It sure did. Sit down, buddy. You're out.
I saw a lot of the Braves dragging that lumber back to that dugout.
They moved just as slow.
Up there.
So now Shaw will try and get something going on offense, and Marcus Mark will stay in there at quarterback. Air receivers to the top, and Shields to the bottom of the screen, split backfield. Mark will hand this one off, and Demetrius Barnes will take it to about the 33 before he's brought down on the play. Coming over to make the tackle is Will Lancaster.
Live football on Comcast on Friday nights. Live football. Isn't it great? And it's brought to you in part by Los Rancheros and Mobile Gas. That's some of the things we saw on the first drive, Scott. Holes like that, running like that, and we haven't seen much of it since.
And I think that's what Marty wanted to get back to, was execution in the second half. The only problem was with St. Paul's taking the ball down and scoring with it. Now he's down 21-0 instead of 14-0.
Offset eye backfield. And Mark will hand this one again off, and Barnes hit at the line of scrimmage. Pulled down, ball bounces loose, rolling along the sidelines, and it goes out before John Shaw could pick it up. As that ball squirted loose, bouncing end over end. Lancaster was there, but John Shaw, coming up from his safety spot, saw that bouncing around, and he was thinking about 6.
Watch it close. See if the ground causes it or not. And
no, Nelson just ripped it out.
Yes.
Jared Nelson just ripped it out.
Old Minnesota Viking play there. One person has the ball carrier wrapped up. The other person coming in doesn't go for the tackle. Right? He comes in to tear the ball or rip the ball loose.
That kid is a football player, isn't he, Scott? Both ways, Nelson. And a big contributor. He doesn't take a play off.
Third down and 3, and again we'll see the shotgun for the Screaming Eagles. Pressure coming on, and he's down. That's just fired up, but it looked like his knee was down, as it looked like Mark just fired that up as the pressure was coming in, and he let it go. Eric Sweetser pulled right in there, and we'll watch the replay. I thought his knee went down before he even threw this.
It's the second or third time that he's slipped on the turf. Pretty close.
Sweetser coming in with the pressure. And so force Shaw to punt. Robert Harris will go back to punt from his 10. And St. Paul's will watch as Shaw takes a timeout. And not enough players out on the field. That is not a timeout you want to use there, Scott.
Yeah, you burn a timeout, and you really hate to do that. I can remember burning one, and I was playing at Alabama. Coach Bryant said, if you do that again, you'll be standing over here with me in the second half.
Try to transfer to a junior college, right? I'll help you pack, he said.
So St. Paul has the lead. They're about to get the ball back. They're on top 21-0. We're back after this on Comcast.
This is the latest news that we have, and it is not good news for those residents along the Gulf Coast, particularly Alabama. This hurricane has intensified dramatically over the...
Natural gas. It keeps on going no matter what nature dishes out. Don't you wish everything was powered by natural gas? Clean burning natural gas. Still Mobile's best energy value. From Mobile Gas and Energy South Company.
Robert Harris will drop back to punt. John Shaw will stand at his own 45. Harris with a good kick will chase Shaw back to the 44. A lot of blue jerseys around him. He spins free from one, gets to midfield before he's wrapped up and thrown down on the play as Carson comes over to make the tackle, his second special teams tackle of the evening. Shaw made a little something out of not much here.
He really did.
And I see Marty McDowell has sophomore Desmond Johnson warming up down there, and we'll see on the next series if Shaw decides to use him.
He's been throwing the ball down there all game long. He's not made it in yet. 48-yard line is where this one will be placed, and rolling back into the pocket. Johnson all the way back to the 35, heaves this one up, and it's incomplete. Intended to receive this fullback, Fleming, on that one.
About the only thing that St. Paul's can do at this point in the game to get Shaw back in the game is make a silly mistake, throwing the ball downfield. It's intercepted, run back in for a touchdown, and that could get Shaw back in the game.
And maybe get them back in the game emotionally too, Scott. Probably something that Shaw needs to do right now as much as anything is defend against giving up. You know, you're down 21-0. Now, Marty's talked about the fact that his team has not given up this year. This is a tough spot for them. They got to keep on playing hard and maybe make something happen.
Handoff up the middle to Mike Vaughn. Vaughn up to the 40, puts his head down and barrels up to about the 37-yard line. The missed tackles did not make the Shaw coaches happy there on the sideline. And again, Scott just cut the ball straight up the field.
North and south. Dan said it earlier in the first half. North and south. This football team, all of their backs
they look the same.
North and south. I like that.
They're built the same. They run very hard. They've got, obviously, they work on their legs, too. They've got good leg strength, Scott. They break tackles. They're a tough bunch.
First and 10 for the Saints, and Fleming didn't take the handoff that time. Looked like he may have got away with moving a bit early before that one was snapped, but Johnson keeps it himself, and he'll add to the rushing total for the night.
Several of these guys are more than likely going to play some ball in college. Brent Johnson has got some opportunities out there at some of the smaller schools, plus I think Louisville, too. It's also looking at Brent Johnson.
And particularly since they moved up to 5A now, I think you'll see more scouting of teams like St. Paul's if they moved up in classifications.
Pitches back to Nelson. He'll turn the corner on the right side at the 30 to about the 32 before he's knocked out of bounds on the play.
There's some talk about Nelson having the opportunity possibly, anyway, that Southern Miss is taking a look at him. He's obviously a very fine athlete. This is somebody who has been on the field. I'm getting tired of being in the press box the whole game. This kid is playing his heart out every play and continues to produce.
Two-way football player, a throwback to years gone by.
First and 10 at the 25, and Shaw's defense a lot of time on the field here in the second half. Johnson on the pitch, got that one back to Fleming, sheds a tackle, lost the ball. Nelson dives after it, and he winds up with it looks like, as he and Henry George were wrestling for it.
Lost his wind by falling on the ball. That's one of those plays that, what do they say, Scott, doesn't show up in the box score? What a big play right there by Nelson.
Just getting the ball back was a big play for St. Paul's. This ball laying on the ground here after the snap, after the pitch, and then the fumble, and
just getting the ball back was big.
You know, we were talking to Coach Guth earlier in the week and asked him about some other players who might see in the backfield, and he said, no, he said, my 3 guys back there, that's who you're going to see get the ball. Unless somebody's injured, he said, that's who's going to be running the ball, right?
No surprises.
And you can see why. 2nd down and 10 after the fumble. Johnson flips it back to the near side, trying to make a move to come free. Knocked down on the play. Casey Sherman, who we've seen play at linebacker all night tonight.
But a little defense, right?
Comes in to spell Fleming, who went out on that one.
Nice safe throw here. Eddie Guth didn't want to do anything silly and throw the ball downfield. Nice safe throw here.
3rd down and 10 with already 4.5 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter. So 3rd and 10. Vaughn in motion. Johnson fakes the pitch, heaves it up over the middle. He's got that one complete. Oh, Fleming just dropped it. Fleming coming out of the backfield, who they featured nicely coming out of the backfield from that fullback position tonight to make several receptions. Just had that one slip through the hands.
Bo didn't drop very many of them. He's a very productive player here. Let's see what happened here. Ball's up. No, just didn't tuck it away.
Just right there, yeah. Nice throw by Johnson, who continues to be an impressive guy at quarterback, and we're going to try to knock one a long way here.
45-yard field goal attempt coming up here tonight for Wells Griffith. He is 1 for 1 on the year. That one he made was from 35. So he will try from 45 here. Good snap, kick is up, and it is no good.
Long enough. Looks a little bit left of the uprights.
Just a little bit to the far side. It was hard to tell. From here, kind of died when it got up in the air here. We'll get another chance to look at this one. Blake Martin was the holder, got it down nicely. A bit of a high snap. Didn't hit it real square.
No, I didn't hit it, but look at that. Enough leg to get
just
it in
missed.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, left upright. I don't think it passed more than about 1 or 2 feet to the left of it.
Griffith gave that one a good effort. And again, we are on the opposite side of where that ball missed just wide. So it was from up here, we were all kind of leaning, trying to get a good look.
You're watching seeing Wells' face. I had lunch with him the other day at a Juvenile Diabetes Foundation get-together.
So now we will see Desmond Johnson come in at quarterback, and he misses on his first attempt. And Scott had been talking about it. He was wondering if Coach McDowell would try and do something to get a bit of a spark here. And Johnson fires that one incomplete to start.
Watched him warm up in the pregame warm-ups. Very impressed with his throwing motion, the way he sets his feet. Nice ball, nice catchable ball. Let's see what the young sophomore can do. He had a big game, I think, earlier in the season. Was it against Foley?
Against Foley, came in off the bench, 217 yards. He's a big kid, and he's going to grow into that frame a little more. He's 6'4", 170 right now.
Yeah, he's got the prototype quarterback build.
And he'll come out of the shotgun here with exactly 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Johnson, 5-step drop, looking across the middle, pump fake. Now he's going to pull it down and take it himself. Out at the 20 to the 25, out to the 30. Now Gruen finally knocked down by John Shaw there. And Johnson, little pump fake, and found himself some room and gets his first contact of the night as we have a Shaw player, or I should say a St. Paul's player down behind the play.
Boy, he looks good here, doesn't he? He's intent on throwing it, but then he decides to tuck it and go.
Yeah, I like this too because he was just almost throwing the football and pulled it down, taking off and making something out of nothing. That's what I always look for a quarterback when things aren't happening right. They make something out of nothing.
And things aren't happening right now for Shaw. They've had confusion over and over on offense.
Big Mark Vaughn heading off. First down after the scamper by Johnson. Has some trouble with the snap. Now decides to give it off to Barnes. And Barnes rumbles across the 30 to about the 33 before he's tripped up there.
That's a nice tackle. That might have been Sweetser, because if it gets past him, he's got something going here. Watch it again. Sweetser with good effort. Fights off a block. Well, that's a good play.
That is. That's excellent football play.
Had 20 tackles in the first 3 games coming into tonight.
Heads up.
Shaw's really, really struggling against the St. Paul's line on both sides of the ball right now, Scott. Johnson looking to heat this one down the right sideline for Harris, and it's just about a yard too long. Nice touch, nice zip on the ball there.
Excellent throw, just an excellent throw. Maybe one more step of speed by the Shaw receiver, and that was going to be a big gainer.
Did Harris
Excellent
fully
throw.
extend, I think is a question, too. Scott, let's look closely at Harris's arms. I mean, I know the safety's coming over, and he's not here to shake his hand, but watch
Desmond
closely.
Johnson with the pump fake. Puts a little air into the ball, and possible, a little bit of a stretch maybe and dive there, and he could have had it.
Nice throw, though. This kid looks good.
3rd and 8. Just inside 3 minutes to go in the third. And again, Johnson trying to get away with some pressure from Nobles, and he will. He'll keep it again to the 35 to the 40. He's got the first down and more as he comes up the midfield. And Johnson across the 40. Working down against Blake Martin, who tackles him down at the 32 with a good open field tackle. But Johnson able to hold on. And he picks up the first down, and he's got a little spark going here for Shaw. The first one they've had since the first drive of this football game.
Scott's been petitioning for this kid to be a quarterback since the first quarter.
Well, I planted it in Marty's mind in the interview right before we had
Notice
in
that.
the locker room. I said, would you make any changes or do anything different in the second half? You see Desmond Johnson here, and as John said, it's a spark. Maybe it'll turn into a bonfire.
You know, and it's 6'4". It doesn't take many of those long strides to gain up the yardage.
No, he's got good speed for that size.
Johnson will hand this one off as he's able to give that one right ahead to Richardson, who rumbles down inside the 20 to about the 18, and another first down. And now Shaw does have it going, and this is the first offensive momentum they have had since the beginning of this football game.
All starts with that guy who takes the snap from the center.
And how about Shaw on the sideline saying, let's see, that's our freshman quarterback handing off to our sophomore running back there.
Scott talked about making something out of nothing, and that's exactly what Johnson did on the biggest offensive play of the game so far for Shaw.
Shaw will take a timeout here. All right. A big football game coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? If you're an Auburn fan, and we know Scott, of course, is a season ticket holder, you can... He just struck me with a microphone. No, but you can... the Auburn game is not available on everybody's TV, but it can be if you call because it's on pay-per-view.
Watch the Huskies.
Oh, Northern Illinois, that's your spot.
That's my neck of the woods. That's right by where I grew up. You got
Cox's home area. Where's Northern Illinois?
It's DeKalb, Illinois. You know who else? More importantly than that, you know who's from DeKalb, Illinois? Cindy Crawford.
Cindy? Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me that.
So, lovely farming community,
I was
I'm
going to
sure.
say Dick Butkus or Ray Nitschke, one of those guys from Illinois, but Cindy Crawford.
And you also pay $35. Maybe you'll see her in the stands at the game tomorrow.
1-800-885-BURN. That's the number to call, and not a bad price.
Johnson takes the handoff some time, steps around the tackler. Now he'll keep it at the 20, again to the 15, back to the middle of the field, inside the 10, and a first and goal coming up here, and a flag coming up. Might have been a late hit there on Johnson.
The flag flew, and I was thinking at one point, Scott, that the ball was going to fly. Did you see once he was getting near contact, and he still had the ball kind of dangling out there?
Not really sure what happened here, whether it was a face mask or what.
Maybe a
Let's
late
see what
hit.
the official...
Another one.
Oh, my. This is against St. Paul's.
Well, somebody's doing a little talking.
Oh, boy.
And Nobles doesn't look happy.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you who's not going to be happy with this is Eddie Guth, because his team is pure discipline. And well, what do we have here?
We had a clip against Shaw, but then after the play, it's...
Well, equals
Personal
out.
foul against St. Paul.
Equals out. And that personal foul penalty, that flag seemed to come when the referees were in conference, like something was said. And Eddie wants to know, what's the deal? What was it? Who was it?
We
He
got a
wants to know.
tripping penalty on the blue team to be first down.
And then they'll count back 15 yards on St. Paul's.
For the personal foul. One tick in 2 minutes here in the second.
How many times have you read the coach's lips on the sideline after penalty, and he's saying, who was it?
Yeah. You got a number?
You got to have somebody to blame, man. Who was it? Wait till I get a hold of him.
Only way an offensive lineman, it seems, gets any recognition.
Yeah, it's
holding on number.
So, first down here, and that'll move it back to the 12-yard line after the penalties.
Good job of confusing the guys with the chains.
4 receivers out. Johnson looks to fire, wants to keep it at the 5, make the 10, and pull down at the 7.
Mr. Johnson better, once he decides to run, he might want to tuck it away because St. Paul's really pursues. And We've already seen him strip the ball one time.
Sweeter and...
I like it, though. He sits in the pocket. He waits the last possible second before he makes the decision to scramble.
You know,
I like that.
The other side, Scott, and maybe you can watch a little more, too, because I know we have it with, you know, the DBs for St. Paul's do a pretty good job to keep the receivers covered.
Yes.
So second down after the gain of 4. 4 receivers out again. Johnson coming with the blitz, and he will not elude. This one is coming in to make the tackle is Nobles. Jeffrey Nobles.
Good call by the St. Paul's defensive coordinator that time, going with a blitz here. And nobody could have gotten out of that.
Nobles had him by the ankles, and now big third down, biggest third down of the night for Shaw here. Ball still at the 12, 45 seconds to go in the period.
Well, you know, it's 2 down territory, down 3 touchdowns.
And now Shaw is going to use another timeout. Actually, that last one I said was Shaw, was St. Paul.
St. Paul's on defense, okay.
But Shaw's timeouts are dwindling here. Maybe they had to use that one on the punt.
Yes, couple of scores. Now, we talked about the surprise of this one. I guess we all ought to really begin to believe in Theodore. They lead 32-9 over Bryant.
Oh, wow.
At Bryant.
Wow.
Tonight. And Clark County, after trailing 7-0, has taken the lead on UMS Wright. Terry Curtis does a great job of coaching that team up. 12-7, Clark County leads UMS Wright, and they are now rivals both at the 4A level, since Wright also has moved up this year. 32-9, Theodore over Bryant.
It's number 7 and 10 in the state, I think, was the rankings of that matchup tonight.
This team is, and that's 2 of the teams that this Shaw team has already played this year. Marty was, there's Eddie Guth, who, boy, he keeps his head in the game.
Well, it's obvious Joe Downey has a football team out of Theodore.
Doesn't he?
And we'll be in Bryant next week. We'll be down in the Bayou.
Scott, I remember how well they cooked last year.
Right.
I'm leaving at noon to get down there.
We're all going early. All going early.
So 3rd and 11. They can get a first down. They can get it to the 1. Fade pattern to the corner looking for Sherrills, and it's knocked down. What a play by Shaw in the corner. John Shaw goes up and knocks that one away, and Sherrills can't believe it. He wants a flag.
Well, let's take a little look at this one. I'm not sure he didn't get hacked across the hands, almost like a foul in basketball here. Let's see. Yeah, no.
I think that's pretty good defense.
Yeah, pretty good defense. Ball was in his hands before he was hit, so.
4th down 11, John Shaw.
I'm not sure I wouldn't come back to that same play again.
Well, he's 5'8". Sherrills is 6'4" and a half, almost 6'5".
Now, Shaw got up, but that was one that Sherrills didn't even have to jump for. That's probably what they need to do, a little higher.
Johnson will roll out to his right, gets around Nobles, and fires that one incomplete.
Too much pressure.
And Shaw, for the second time tonight, has gotten it down inside the 15. Actually, have been at the 11 once, and now the 12, and come away empty on both occasions.
Here you go. Once again, it's Nobles, and he has applied a lot of pressure. St. Paul's has not shown the tendency to sit back when it's an obvious passing situation, Scott. They're bringing people.
Yeah, rolling outside the pocket, too. You don't get any protection when you get outside the pocket. You're going to get pressured early, and he did get pressured a little bit too early. The receivers really didn't have time to come out of their routes.
St. Paul will take over. Saints with the lead, 21-0. They scored twice in the first half and once to open the second half here. Handoff on the inside. Mike Vaughn across the 15 to the 20. He'll drag 3 defenders out to the 21. And Vaughn will pick up enough for a first down to move the chains, and we'll bring the third quarter to a close. Again, another nice run by the tailback.
Yeah, when it's Vaughn, it could be Fleming. When it's Fleming, it could be Vaughn. They all seem to do the same thing. They rely on their blockers. They pick their hole, Scott, and then they throw. And they use the strength.
The old cross buck.
And St. Paul's will not snap it again as they want the clock just to continue to run on here. They lead by a score of 21-0 as we are through 3, and the fourth quarter is coming up. It's high school football, and it's live Friday night here on Comcast. The Saints lead the Screaming Eagles 21-0. Fourth quarter comes up next.
Welcome, friend, to Los Rancheros.
You've been with us for lunch. Now join us for dinner. At Los Rancheros, we have different nightly specials for you to enjoy. Celebrate with us as you try our famous fajitas and margaritas. Our fun atmosphere gets even better on Saturdays as our authentic mariachi band plays for you from 6 to 10 p.m. Then we'll see you on Sunday when your church bulletin gets you 15% off. Don't forget, you can call ahead and pick it up on your way home. Visit us at Los Rancheros Mexican Restaurant. We're open 7 days a week. Adios.
Three done, ready to start the fourth, and it's been all St. Paul's so far. 21-0, they have the lead, and got the ball deep down in their own territory, and more than happy to keep that clock running. And how the stats looking, Scott?
As St. Paul's leading in rushing, 214 yards to Shaw's 111, passing 27 to 70. Total yards 241 to 181, and St. Paul's over Shaw, reflected in the scoreboard too.
First down, Bo Fleming. He'll take it out to the 25. Pick up a couple. Bring up a second down.
They've got to contain Fleming. That's the one thing that they've done. They haven't let Fleming rip off any big runs from fullback. But we've got, about 12 minutes left in the game, and I would not be shocked at all that Fleming pop one here.
Shaw's defense has got to do something to get the offense in good field position here.
Got to gamble. Stunt, blitz, do something.
And you're asking for trouble a little bit, Scott, when you do that against a veteran quarterback with a veteran offense. They may react to it well and go big the other way. But you're right, 21-0. When you have to lose, what are you waiting on, right?
And you get a flag as the back judge there. Looked like it's going to be a penalty.
I picked up the flag.
Not sure what it was. Johnson will hand that one off and tripped up the line of scrimmages long. We'll bring up a third down and long here for St. Paul's.
Good play by Gill. Now, not that St. Paul's can't convert the third and longs, but I was talking earlier, Scott, in 4A ball, they've been so used to being able to run the ball very effectively against people. Spring Johnson hasn't had to have a lot of third and longs in his career, and that's when they've been, it's tough.
On the pitch to the near side, falling down was Fleming. Kind of lost his balance at the 20 and wound up at about the 25 before he's pulled down by Curtis Moore.
Oh, that's the big thing about the wing T offense. As long as you're ahead or tied, it's a good offense. But if you ever get behind, for instance, in a playoff game, you're down 2 touchdowns or so. It's a very tough offense to come from behind in. There's just not enough spread on the defense. But, boy, when you're operating it well and it's tied or you're ahead,
Eat up the clock.
It's a magician, yes, offense.
Even as Fleming doesn't make a big gain, did you notice every time they make a decision, and there's no indecision on these backs.
Well, Wallace is back. He's the one who could make something happen, and he'll take the punt here at the 46, and he gets slung down by the jersey is Mike Vaughn. Talked about him carrying the ball on that drive, came down and says as he grabs a handful of Wallace's jersey and slings him right down.
Wallace is arguably their best player on defense. I think that Marty really feels like he is, and he calls him Mr. Everything, but even Mr. Everything doesn't like the odds of 1 on 6 or 7.
He's been quiet tonight.
He has been.
And Desmond Johnson starting here with good field position.
See if the youngster can bring that spark back that he had going last time.
He was impressive. He was really impressive the first drive.
Roberto Richardson will take the handoff, and Richardson tripped up on the play as Larry Nobles, Jeffrey Nobles, there to make the tackle. And Nobles has been all over tonight. We talk so much about Blake Martin, the outside linebacker, but Nobles from the inside position doing it.
He has, and look at the size, too. Nobles, 5'11", 176, and a sophomore.
Well, he probably bench presses a Mack truck, though.
You're right. These guys really work it up in the weight room. He won't be 176 by the time he's a senior.
Second and 10 with 9 minutes left. Pressure. More pressure indeed, and not getting away is coming in to make the sack. Wade Stoudemire again grabs a hold of some jersey, and Johnson just didn't have anywhere to go. Didn't have a chance to make anything happen, Scott.
Yeah, I think Marty probably needs to put him in the shotgun so he can get a direct snap, see any kind of rush that's coming, giving himself a chance to elude any kind of rush. When he's dropping back like that, the rush is almost beating him back to the setup spot.
St. Paul's is quick. You know, Scott, they've got a lot of people that get to the ball quickly. Got a flag on the play.
I have to think that will be waved off. Gladly take the sack and the down, as it'll be third down and long coming up.
Let's see what they're going to do there. Yeah, you would think so, huh? Unless it was maybe the play was nullified altogether. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Ball.
Procedure, I don't think you can have a play.
Okay, so
yeah, but the referee said declined even. But if it's legal procedure, that's a dead ball.
You're gonna have to mark it off. Marty, hoping they picked the less painful poison right now, and there's the Shaw team trying to hang in there, down 21-0, and Marty again has talked, if nothing else, they don't quit.
Start over here. Play second down. We've got to run in play.
I think Lee Portis, I believe, the official, used to be my mailman out there in Pritchard.
Lee Portis.
Lee Portis.
And just as Scott recommended, the shotgun now again for Desmond Johnson, and more pressure. Able to break free at the 35, now out to the 40, and he's going to be hauled down by Nelson. As Jared Nelson, good pursuit.
That was remarkable, just staying alive.
Stoudemire and Randall Frost there to put the pressure on initially, but Johnson definitely got the quicks on those two.
Boy, it's very elusive player. I'm amazed that the ball hasn't popped loose. You see every time he scrambles, he's kind of got it carried out there.
And Nelson was trying to get that one out.
Nelson is, you know, Scrappy Senior. He knows the name of the game is where's the ball.
Third down and 19, and with 8 minutes to go, this is two-down territory too. Down by 3 scores. Johnson zips it to the sidelines. He's got Harris, who's brought down right at the 42, but there's a flag right in front of the St. Paul sideline there.
Harris needed a block, and I think he might have got a clip instead.
And St. Paul's will wave this one off, I'm sure, to bring up a 4th and long. See if we can see it.
He's got a mate out there with him.
Right on the numbers. When he throws the ball.
Got holding on the blue team. Pass decline. 4th down.
So it was a hold as Blake Martin just came and wrapped him up.
Hold by number, I think the hold was by number 2, and he didn't even hold well enough because the guy who was holding made the tackle. If you're going to hold, son, go ahead and hold.
Tackle him.
Tackle him, bring him down, make it count.
So with the 4th and long, they will be forced to punt now. Robert Harris. John Shaw back deep for St. Paul's. Harris end over ends this one, and Shaw will take it right at the 20. Shaw trying to turn it back to the wide side of the field, trying to get out to the 30, and he'll run out of bounds about the 32 right in front of the Shaw sidelines. Well, you know, of course, you got the Alabama game tomorrow night. You got the Auburn game going on, but there's lots of other college football you can watch tomorrow, Dan.
Yeah, you can take your choice. ESPN game plan for tomorrow. There's a look at some of the games. Northwestern, Wisconsin, Navy, Boston College, Iowa, Nebraska. You know, where are you from?
Hey, Notre Dame, Michigan State.
Notre Dame, Michigan State.
That's going to be a good football game.
Boy, they've been playing well. They pulled one out last week. There you go. The season pass is only $99. If you just want it tomorrow, $9.95, 476-7600. They're ready to take your order right now.
Some fans watching that UAB game as well. Jared Nelson gets bundled up one of the few times tonight. Carson.
We don't have ESPN2 on the Eastern Shore, so I have to go over to the captain's table and watch ESPN2 on Comcast at the captain's table, and I've enjoyed that.
You got to get on this side of the causeway, huh?
That's right. We don't have it over there on my particular.
You know, though,
Comcast needs to come over there on the Eastern Shore, Russ Aaron.
You don't need a lot of reason to go to the captain's table, though, do you?
No. No, those things.
Second down and 13, 7 minutes left. Nelson again in motion, and Johnson on the keeper, gets across the 30, and squirts out to about the 34 before he's tripped up in the play. And again, there's Wilbert Carson. You know, he has had a heck of a game tonight for Shaw. The linebacker has been tremendous. He's been in a lot of tackles.
It's He's never the first guy that gets these St. Paul's guys down, I'll tell you that. Johnson, a very determined, strong guy, too, and he doesn't dance around. He brings it at you.
Johnson tries to spin it back to the middle of the field, and just about to the 35. Not much more after that.
If Marty McDowell has a block the punt play, Scott, here's it's time for it now.
I'll say it's time for it now. Finally, Shaw manages to contain this rollout, power rollout, and really the quarterback couldn't get anything going on at that time at all. Brent Johnson hit the backfield before he could turn the corner.
4th in.
And I think, Dan, you're right.
Wallace is back to and it's blocked. It is blocked, and the ball is picked up as it's knocked out loose. Andre White comes up with the block after trouble with the snap. The sure-handed Bo Fleming couldn't hold on, and Andre Wright comes in, picks up the loose ball, rumbles up, and now another opportunity with the best field position that Johnson will start with so far tonight.
You call that one, Dan?
It's the block. You got to get a little help from the other team. So not all the credit goes to Shaw. Hey guys, we've got some scores here that I want to pass along to you. Let's wait till after this. Build the suspense because we've got some things here that'll really interest you.
1st and 10, and again, Johnson out of the shotgun. Drops back, looking a little jump pass, able to get that one off, and tripped up on the play with Fletcher as he caught the pass, and St. Paul's defense snuffed that one out the whole way. Give me some scores, Dan Brennan.
Blunt is leading Citronelle in the 4th quarter, but only 12-7. UMS is now taking the lead on Clark County, 13-12. Theodore High School is now leading Bryant, 38-9. They just keep on keeping on. And how about this? I'm not completely surprised by this. We've seen both these teams. Halftime, Mary G. Montgomery, 3, Murphy, nothing.